New Year's Day, 1986, UCLA adds another Pac-10 title with a Bruin-style rout of Iowa in the Rose Bowl. UCLA planned another championship campaign this season, but jubilation is turning into frustration and disappointment as the Bruins have been pounded and surrounded at almost every turn, leaving Coach Terry Donahue searching for answers. But for the 1986 Arizona Wildcats, everything is coming up roses. Arizona is undefeated and flying high as it chases its first Pac-10 crown ever. Head coach Larry Smith has the Wildcats on the road to the Rose Bowl, while Terry Donahue is trying to get the Bruins back on its championship track. Today, it's Arizona versus UCLA as the race for the roses continues.
Well, I wouldn't count UCLA out yet. I think that we still have a chance at the conference championship if we can beat Arizona today.
It's the conference champion from a year ago, and I think that if you're going to be a contender yourself and establish yourself a contender, I feel that you got to beat the best, and there's no question UCLA is the best.
So we're live in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena as Arizona takes on UCLA on CBS Sports. A crowd expected to reach 50,000 this afternoon is gathering on an unexpectedly gloomy Saturday in October here in Southern California. Overcast skies as Arizona gets set to take on UCLA in Los Angeles for the first time since 1982. This is a relatively fresh series, and these Arizona Wildcats getting set to take the field with their number 11 ranking in the country. Currently 4-0. They have won their one conference encounter. Larry Smith, now in his 7th year in the Tucson campus. And a good crowd has gathered here, making the trip up from Tucson. And here come the home squad, the UCLA Bruins. They are the defending Rose Bowl champions, but it's been a rocky season so far. Knocked off most recently by Arizona State last week. And that has Terry Donahue in some degree of exasperation, trying to figure out exactly what is happening with his squad. Good morning, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Pat Hayden as these two teams get set to meet here in the second Pac-10 encounter for the year. And Pat, I think it's safe to say, even though it's only the second conference game for UCLA, this really is a critical afternoon for them.
Well, it's a very important game for UCLA because of all the high expectations people had for this team. They played in 4 straight January 1st bowl games. They expected to play in a January 1st bowl game this year. But Terry Donahue said they must win today if they expect to be playing in the Rose Bowl on January 1st this year. He feels if they lose, they're out of the conference race.
They have been disappointing. Do you have any idea in your mind what's wrong?
It's the offense. The offense has been disappointing. And today, Matt Stevens is going to have a big day throwing the football for UCLA to win. Because simply put, you cannot run the ball against Arizona. So if Matt Stevens has a big day throwing the ball, particularly on first down, UCLA will be successful.
This is a critical game for UCLA. Not quite that important, but significant, I think, in a very real sense for Arizona.
And I'm really impressed with this Arizona team. I think this team is ready to take the next step in their performance and win a conference crown. Now, Larry Smith has won in the past with great defense and special teams, but what makes this Arizona team a little bit different is the offense, the balance in the offense in particular. They've never been able to run the ball like they have this year.
There has been a potential problem considering the offense with Arizona, and for an update on that, let's go down to our colleague, John Dockery.
Thank you, Vern. That's Alfred Jenkins behind me there. He's had problems all week long. As a matter of fact, he's been sick. He's lost 11 pounds. He's been unable to keep anything down. I just spoke to him before the game. There was some question as to whether he would play. He told me he was tired, but that this was a big game and he would definitely be out there. The locker room was very quiet before the game, but Jenkins will play, and that's a story right now from the locker room. I just came back up. Now back up to you, Vern.
All right, John, we're just about set as the captains make their way to the center of the field. The kickoff coming up. Arizona against UCLA. Pac-10 football live from the Rose Bowl.
Those who have waited and waited can now see the light. For Toyota introduces a car close to perfection. The all-new 1987 Toyota Camry. Camry gets more power to pass from a new 16-valve fuel-efficient engine, a quiet, more comfortable cabin for 5, and more of the Toyota quality that has made Camry the most trouble-free new car, domestic or import, sold in America.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
You're far from home, far from everything you know, but you're not alone. A new service from American Express is with you every step of the way. Announcing Global Assist. Now you can get medical and legal help in the U.S. and the world with one call, toll-free, 24 hours a day.
Hello, American Express.
Just one more reason to have the American Express card, or to get one.
We're MCI. Thousands of people pulling together to give you the best in the communications business. MCI competes with fiber optics, in place now, for superior call quality and data transmission. Our competition is good. We have to be better. And because we compete, you win. MCI, communications for the next 100 years.
Oh! Just like that, this AC copper core spark plug can fire 30 times. That's the firepower today's high-revving car engines need. What about your plugs? If they can't fire for up to 30,000 miles, oh! Maybe you're missing out on peak performance. For the AC Delco retailer nearest you, just give me a call at 1-800-AC-DELCO. Wait for trouble, and you've got it.
CBS Sports presents college football live from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. It's the Arizona Wildcats versus the UCLA Bruins. Today's game is sponsored by your Toyota dealer and the all-new Camry sedan and wagon. Who could ask for anything more? Castrol, the motor oil engineered for today's smaller cars. MCI, communications for the next 100 years. And by Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right. Bit of a gloomy Saturday afternoon. Temperature of 70 degrees, a humidity of 68%, and continued cloudy for most of the day. A slight wind to the southwest of 7 miles per hour. Jeff Valder getting set to kick off for the Arizona Wildcats. They won the toss, elected to delay their option till the second half, so UCLA will receive. Henley and Carnell Lake are the two deep men for the Bruins. And this is Darrell Henley from near the goal line. And popped hard as he gets out to the 12-yard line. Another example, or an early example, of this outstanding special teams of Arizona. Tom Basie makes the tackle. UCLA on offense. Willie Anderson, the wide receiver.
Matt Stevens is going to be throwing the ball a lot his way today.
Might go deep early to him. Carl Durrell, the other flanker from San Diego, California. Derek Tennell, the tight end.
Will be featured inside the 20-yard line in the passing game.
And Matt Stevens, who's on the spot this afternoon, has been sluggish the last couple of weeks. Let's see if he might go upstairs on first down. Watch for Willie Anderson, lined up left side. Here's Stevens. Goes for the secondary receiver, the short man. It's caught at the 27-yard line by Gaston Green, who's been out the last couple of weeks. Played a little bit last week, but has been bothered by bunions. The fullback today, Mel Farr Jr. from Birmingham, Michigan, number 22. James Primus was supposed to start, but just prior to the game, they named Gaston Green to go in that spot. Eric Rogers at left tackle. Jim Alexander at left guard. The center is Joe Goebel. And we'll get the other two in just a moment. Second down and 1. Stevens again. Left side to the short man. And that's good for the first down at the 35. Green again. The remainder of that offensive line for UCLA after the first down. Ono Zwaneveld at right guard. And the right tackle is John Kidder. They have been problems. They've not played that well so far.
Well, Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator of UCLA, felt that they did not throw the ball enough last week in the first half. Obviously, their game plan here is to throw the ball, and they think they can get the ball both deep to Flipper Anderson and into the flat.
UCLA has moved out to the 35-yard line. Backs in the eye. Mel Farr, Gaston Green, option play. Stevens, the pitch back to Gaston Green. Lets it loose around right end. He may be close for another first down.
See a completely different type of start here from UCLA. Watch the option play, which they ran last week a little bit successfully, but they didn't really pitch the ball too much on the option. Here is Gaston Green. One of the differences in UCLA is they've missed his speed, his breakaway speed. There he picked up close to a first down. Actually, he did pick up the first down, but you're going to see UCLA both throw the ball to get Gaston Green in the flat and feature him in the option play as well.
He's been bothered by a bunion problem, sore feet, and had a mediocre day last week. First down and 10, second in succession for UCLA. And again on first down. Here's Stevens with the home run. Overthrown. Flipper Anderson, the intended receiver. On defense for Arizona, George Hinkle at left tackle out of Robertsville, Missouri. Jim Birmingham, the nose guard. And Stan Mataele, the right tackle. Interesting story.
Mataele, he can really put pressure. He can be a dominating pass rusher. 6 sacks.
Linebackers are Boomer Gibson from Orange, California. Brent Woods, small, 5'10", 215. Byron Evans and Danny Lockett is the fourth member of that quartet. Second down and 10. And again, Stevens is going upstairs. Little pressure this time. It's incomplete left side. Danny Lockett leads his team in sacks.
Boy, another good pass rusher. Led the conference in sacks last year.
Martin Rudolph at left cornerback.
He's the guy that Matt Stevens wants to pick on today.
James DeBow, who was a running back a year ago. Eugene Hardy, the free safety, and a dandy at strong safety. The name is Chuck Cecil.
Boy, he can play, and expect him. He's going to try to block a punt today. He's done that a lot in his career.
Third and 10, UCLA, no score first quarter. Stevens intercepted. Flying down the sideline is Byron Evans. Touchdown, Arizona. Unless he stepped out of bounds back at the 22, and that is the indication.
Byron Evans a year ago was the Arizona defense big play man. This year, although he's played well, he hasn't had the big plays. He has not had an interception or a fumble recovery. So right here in the opening drive of UCLA, where they had looked pretty good, he steps right in front of Matt Stevens. Now, we talked about Stevens trying to get the ball into the flat. This one was not well thrown because there's too many defenders right there. A good read by Byron Evans. Now watch where he steps out of bounds. No, he didn't step out of bounds there. Right there, on the line, and the official was right there. That's where he called him out on about the 22-yard line. But that's a big play by Evans, something he has not provided yet this year.
That results in an Arizona first down at the 22-yard line, and there's a good look at Byron Evans, number 48.
Well, did you see the way he read Matt Stevens? He was watching Stevens' eyes the whole time, and then just drove on the ball, made a nice interception. Good catch.
First down, Wildcats. No score, 13:26 to go, first quarter. David Adams, all 5'6", 167 pounds worth. Let's meet this Arizona offense now. Jeff Reinhardt at left tackle out of Norristown, Pennsylvania. Val Bachekis at left guard. Joe Toffelmeyer. He is a terrific football player. Frank Areola at right guard. Brian Denton, the right tackle.
Offensive line needs to be effective very much on first down. They want to gain 4 yards rushing the ball on first down.
Second down and 7, again from the I formation. See the sprint draw out. There's a bobble from Jenkins, the option play. And he's caught up in a frenzy at the right end spot and is down at the 18 by Frank Batchkoff, number 92. In the backfield, there's Alfred Jenkins. David Adams starts at tailback.
Only 5'6". He hides behind those big offensive tackles in the line.
Fullback is Joe Pryor, 5'11", 222 pounds. And the receivers, John Horton at split end. Derek Hill can really go deep. Vince Lottie is the tight end. That's been a troublesome position. And there is Alfred Jenkins, despite a virus, starting at cornerback. Derek Hill in motion. Option play, Jenkins lobs it out and overthrows the intended receiver. Joe Pryor, the fullback. And we'll see the field goal unit come on.
That was good defense by Greg Boland, number 91, the inside linebacker for UCLA, who forced Jenkins to throw the ball high, get it over him, and just didn't have the right touch to get the ball to Pryor.
Arizona has the luxury of 2 field goal kickers on the traveling squad. And Gary Costin is the man who is used inside the 40-yard range. Costin is 6 of 7 this year, and he'll attempt this field goal from 35 yards out.
Well, he gets the ball up quickly, too. Very high.
Very reminiscent of John Lee. There it is. And it's good. He's 7 of 8 for the season. And the Wildcats of Arizona turn the Byron Evans interception into a 3-point play. Arizona's on top with 12:06 to go, first quarter.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Canon's new personal copiers come in 4 colors and copy in 5.
Red your color.
And this replaceable cartridge makes them simple, even for you.
Lighten up, Jack.
They are light. Here.
What a guy.
For information, call toll-free 1-800-OK-Canon.
The top of your TV should be more than just a shelf for your VCR, so Zenith designed a slim, new midsize that does just about everything but take up space. Zenith. Quality.
Tomorrow, the firepower of Washington's Jay Schrader, the horsepower of Dallas's Herschel Walker. It all starts with the NFL Today on CBS Sports.
Byron Evans has the first big play of the afternoon, that 28-yard return with an intercepted pass. That gave Arizona a terrific field position at the 22. Gary Costin kicked the field goal, and the Wildcats lead 3-0. UCLA about to receive the ball for the second time. Jeff Valder's kick, low, one-hopper, and taken out. Darrell Henley, number 2, and again the special teams effort of Arizona pays dividends.
Well, Larry Smith spends more time on special teams than any head coach I've ever met. They start with the very first day in their training camp talking about special teams. As a matter of fact, their very first meeting is about special teams, and their kickoff team has really backed UCLA up twice now.
That is Darrell Jones, who made the tackle and might be slightly injured. They'll check him on the sideline. Here's Matt Stevens, who has gone to the air early and often. Marcus Greenwood is in the lineup, and we've got flags.
Did you see Joe Goebel snap the ball there? He is the center from UCLA. As soon as he sees an Arizona defender move, he'll snap the ball and take the easy 5-yard. Good heads-up play by Joe Goebel, the center. Stevens did that a couple times last week.
Offside, Arizona. That was heads up. Jim Birmingham is the man who jumped across. Well, Terry Donahue told us day before yesterday, we can't run on Arizona.
Said it 4 times, didn't he?
Yes. So it is no surprise that UCLA has gone airborne, and we expect to see that an awful lot until they loosen up that defense a little bit. 1st and 5 this time, 11:50 to go. First quarter, 3-0 Arizona. Not this time. Gaston Green for a couple. It has been a troublesome season so far, and Matt Stevens, the quarterback, talked about what the problems have been with UCLA.
Well, we had high expectations when the season started. And, you know, I was trying to tell everybody it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And we were a little bit overconfident. We'd won 3 Rose Bowls and a Fiesta Bowl, and we had it all underneath our belt. I mean, for me, sometimes I can't figure out what ring I'm going to wear out, you know, Friday night. So naturally, you're going to be a little overconfident. But when it comes to expectations, I think we still know that we're a good team. We just haven't put it together yet. We're not executing the way we should be. And I don't think any breaks have gone our way.
That was Matt Stevens, who was on the bench for that play as Brendan McCracken came in. That's a change that Terry Donahue has made for the wishbone formation for this week, Pat.
Brendan McCracken, he's a sophomore quarterback there. He's a much better runner than Matt Stevens. As a matter of fact, Homer Smith says he really could be a halfback. He has 4.6 speed. They want to use him in the option, get him to the outside. Really is a change of pace against this Arizona defense. Remember that wishbone forces a defensive team to play more at home, takes away some of their aggressiveness, and because Arizona flies all over the place, they think the wishbone can make them be more disciplined.
They'll measure for the first down. I want to ask you a question, though. UCLA showed the wishbone. It is a first down. They showed the wishbone last week against Arizona State. Larry Smith saw that. They prepared this week for the wishbone, but they prepared for it with Matt Stevens at quarterback.
And they also saw them just run inside plays last week, and Arizona's defense said they were going to, as soon as they saw the wishbone, they were going to pinch inside, and so UCLA wants to counterpunch and get the ball outside on a third option.
Expect to see that through the duration of the day. McCracken replacing Stevens when the wishbone is in operation. First down, UCLA. They trail 3-0. And Stevens is back in. See if they're throwing on first down this time. Yes, sir. Play fake. Stevens looking deep. And that had to be a freelance play, and he throws it away. Intended for Willie Anderson.
Good coverage there by Martin Rudolph. UCLA really felt they had a great matchup between Willie Anderson and number 27, Rudolph of the Wildcats. They felt by throwing the ball deep early to Willie Anderson, which we saw them do, that he would play so safe and so far off that they could run the out pattern. But good coverage there by Rudolph.
This is a stout defensive unit of Arizona. 235 yards given up per game. Both wide receivers are wide at the top of your screen, wide right on 2nd and 10. Stevens is 2 out of 6. The fullback gets the handoff. Marcus Greenwood, who was out last week, and Byron Evans is there to make the tackle.
This is the situation in about a 3rd and 8 situation, which UCLA faced much last week, and they really wanted to stay out of this kind of situation because Arizona can really come after the passer. They have 14 sacks this year. We wanted to stay out of the 3rd and long. This is not Matt Stevens' really forte, his type of game where he can drop back and find a receiver downfield.
Now let's watch Arizona defensively on 3rd and 7. Again, the play fake and pretty good protection, but good downfield coverage. Forces him to go to the alternate receiver again, and that is short of the first down as Greenwood makes the catch, but only at the 35.
Boy, that's good, smart defense. They had all the wide receivers covered. They forced everybody in front of them, and Stevens just dumped the ball off. But you see how the linebackers react. They swarm around the ball about as well as any defense as you're going to see. Boomer Gibson played it beautifully and forced the punt.
That brings on Harold Barkate for the first time. And a 10-man front for Arizona. See if they go for the block or the return.
And Chuck Cecil, number 6, is the man who feels he can block a punt.
Barkate at the 21. Well, the return is on for the most part this time. Derek Hill, sophomore, gathers it in at the 13 and is nailed at the 14-yard line. Let's talk a little bit about the UCLA special teams as Greg Bullen, number 91, led the charge down, and the Wildcats have the ball at the 14-yard line.
Why go to some fast food place that serves dried out chicken when you can go to Kentucky Fried Chicken? They always have fresh, juicy chicken, and that secret blend of 11 herbs and spices makes it taste delicious.
Finger licking good! At Kentucky Fried Chicken, all we do is chicken, so we do it right. Anyone else's chicken may be left high and dry.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
You know, the weirdest things happen to me, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, here I am stocking up for Halloween. I got my steaks, got my ribs. Then when I ask the stock boy where the Coors Light is stacked, he points me to the Coors and Coors Light Halloween display, and I'm on it. Whoa, it was like deja vu. Whoa, it was like deja vu. Look for it where you buy beer. I shop here because they slash prices. There goes another one. Happy Halloween, darling.
Your life is changing, and State Farm is there.
I'm State Farm agent Jim McConnell. Terry Saylor's life insurance started out pretty simple. Then there were 3 children, 2 new mortgages, a big job promotion for Terry, and for Mrs. Saylor, a life plan of her own. 7 updates in just 6 years. State Farm agents are there to start you out with life insurance that works for you.
And like a good neighbor,
And we're there to keep it working for you.
State Farm is there.
Larry Smith prowling the sideline. John Dockery, our man down on the sideline, was in the locker room with the Arizona team. John, what did they have to say prior to this game?
Vernon, was interesting. Defensive coordinator Chris Allen gave the pep talk, and he emphasized opportunities for Arizona. A great dog in the Pac-10 to knock off UCLA.
Well, we were having problems with John's mic, but it had to do with playing the defending champion here at home. And Chris Allen, as John said, gave the locker room talk. There's a good defensive surge by Frank Batchkoff, number 92, and David Adams, number 2, made the tackle.
UCLA defense wants to force Alfred Jenkins to beat him with their arm, much like Matt Stevens is going to have a big day. The UCLA defense played very, very well last week. They really take away the run. They got hurt with a couple of big passes. They want to force Jenkins really to throw the ball, put him in situations like this.
8:40 to go, first quarter. 3-0 Arizona leads on a 35-yard Gary Costin field goal after an interception. Derek Hill starts in motion, pitch out David Adams. Weaves out to the outside and is knocked out of bounds at the 17. Now for an update in college football, let's go to Jim Nance in New York.
Well, Vern, David Clark, a senior for Penn State, scored his first touchdown of the season. What a big one it was. He barrels across and puts Penn State in front with 3 minutes to go. Let's go back to Vern and Pat.
Thank you, Jimmy. Penn State having unexpected difficulties today.
Well, remember they struggled last year along the way and then played for the national championship on January 1st.
8:23 to go, and we've got a 3rd down and 8 now facing Arizona. Jenkins, draw play, David Adams. First down, Wildcats at the 28, smart play.
And this is where UCLA got hurt last week on 3rd and long situations when Arizona State ran the football. Arizona's doing the same type of thing. It's strictly a passing down, nickel defense in. You see 4 linemen. Terry Toomey took an inside rush. That created a natural gap there for David Adams, but Toomey rushing inside created the hole for Adams to pick up the first down. That was really concerning Tom Hayes, the defensive coordinator, how Arizona State ran so well last week.
Well, Paul Day picked up tons of yardage on 3rd and long last week for Arizona State. 1st and 10 Wildcats. They lead 3-0. Jenkins gives it to his fullback, Joe Pryor. And that didn't look pretty.
Fullback runs usually don't.
You're right.
When was the last time you saw an exciting fullback run?
The nature of the position is ugly.
Yeah, the fullback and nose guard, those are two positions you don't volunteer for, you know? But I want to tell you, those guys can block for Arizona. Pryor and Webb and McLemore, all of them lead the way for David Adams.
Jeff Fairholm has come into the lineup now at one of the wide receiver spots. 2nd down and 8, 7:25 to go, first quarter. Up the middle we come again, David Adams. Adams missed most of the last game that Arizona played against Colorado with an ankle injury.
Well, we talked about the blocks of the fullback of Arizona. Watch Joe Pryor, number 32. He's going to come into the screen and make the clear out block for David Adams. Good offensive line surge there by Koffelmeyer, the center. There's 32 right in the middle of the screen. Boom, right there on Kenny Norton. That's a terrific block, and that's what you need to do if your tailback's going to have some daylight.
If the run was ugly, that was handsome. 3rd down, 4. Jenkins, little swing pass to Adams, who makes a nice catch, but that's short of the first down at the 36, and the Wildcats will be forced to punt.
Well, Alfred Jenkins really has a slow delivery for a quarterback. We've got an Arizona Wildcat injured on the field, but Jenkins really winds up, takes a really slow throw. It comes out of his hand very slowly.
The injured player is Jeff Fairholm out of Toronto, whose father made the trip down here from Canada to watch Jeff play today. And he looks like he's holding his left arm or shoulder.
Jeff Fairholm is the Arizona man injured.
We've seen so many players who, with all the speed and momentum they have, you get hit and you fall down. You can separate that shoulder just from a push in the back on the ground and really jam that shoulder or elbow into the ground.
He's been a game breaker for the Wildcats. In fact, caught the winning touchdown pass in the come-from-behind win over Colorado, 64 yards. Terrific speed, but how unfortunate that his father makes the trip here to Los Angeles or to Pasadena to watch him play. And there's Ken Norton Jr.
Kenny Norton's the one who was blocked by Joe Pryor moments ago. He's got to fight off those blocks. Inside linebackers have to get rid of blockers as soon as they can so they can make the play.
We'll get an injury update from John Dockery as soon as we can on Jeff Fairholm. Ruben Rodriguez is on to punt for the first time. He has been a terrific addition to this Arizona squad. Darrell Henley is the deep man, number 2. Waits at the 25-yard line. Good block. Allows Rodriguez to make the kick, and a fair catch signaled at the 33. Oh, what a terrific block by the upback. So Rodriguez's punt is away. It's only a 31-yard kick. UCLA has the ball back.
When you've got your body going, we've got the shoes. Foot Locker, get it right for your body. All the shoes that fit your body, come to the Stripes. Foot Locker, get it right for your body. Get fit by the pros, the expert who knows the shoes that are best
for people who are serious.
Get it right for your body. Come to the Stripes. Foot Locker, come to the Stripes.
You're really on the move all over the West, so you need a bank that can keep pace with you. Well, only a First Interstate Gold Bank card lets you cash a personal check up to $1,000 and get cash instantly at banking offices all over the West. So come to First Interstate. We're not just keeping pace. We're setting the pace.
Tonight.
Police, freeze!
Somebody's trying to put me out of business.
Scary. But nobody around here has a sense of humor?
That's Rick Neuheisel, the former UCLA quarterback, just to the left of head coach Terry Donahue.
Our left, Terry's right.
Right. Serving on Donahue's staff. 3-0 is the score with 6:19 to go in the first quarter, and UCLA having difficulty, as we expected they would, moving the ball. Penn State now leads 23-17, fourth quarter. Must have gotten safety in that game. First down and 10, UCLA trailing by 3. Stevens with a pitch out on first down. Gaston Green coming left, gets to the 35-yard line.
Arizona has a different defensive philosophy, whereas most teams play players either on the right side or the left side. They have players that play the field and the boundary, because in college football, with the wide hash marks, they put their best players out on the wide side of the field and force you to run to the short side of the field into the boundary and use that as a defender. Interesting philosophy.
Pat, do the pro teams use the hash marks as much as college teams do?
Absolutely not, because remember, the pro hash marks are toward the center of the field, but here, there's a big, big difference.
Second down and 8, 5:44 to go first quarter. Stevens, play fake. Nobody open deep again. Good coverage. A little screen pass, though, right side. Doesn't develop like they had hoped. Mel Farr makes the catch, and Martin Rudolph, number 27, makes the tackle.
But it's the right kind of call against this defense, who they're going to force you everything in front. You got to beat them with the short pass up front. And then the offensive backs, once they get the ball in their hand, are going to have to break some tackles if UCLA is going to have some success.
Carl Durrell, number 8, brings the play in, and they will not apparently go from the wishbone. No, they will not, as Stevens stays in on third down and 4. Marcus Greenwood in at the fullback position. Gaston Green has blockers in front. What a terrific defensive play. Brent Wood, number 35, at 5'10", 207. They call him the midget.
Well, the Arizona linebackers play deep, very deep, 5 or 6 yards off the ball, and their first step is forward. They're attacking the line of scrimmage. They don't skate down the line, and look how quickly Brent Wood came into the picture. Remember, he is a linebacker. Look how deep they are, 5, 6 yards. They're right there in the middle of the screen there. That is a long way away from the football, but they can react toward the line of scrimmage.
Their first step is always forward, isn't it? Almost. That's Barcade on. Here comes the block, and Chuck Cecil has done it. Arizona still running for the football, bobbling it. Now they fall on it. Touchdown. Rich Gropenbacher.
Last night, Chuck Cecil was smiling about that. We asked if he thought he could block a punt, and a little smirk and smile came on his face, and he said, "We've got something a little special."
He came from the right guard position, shot the gap. Cecil said last night he had partially deflected one and barely missed 2 others. And he had a feeling that today he could get it.
Watch the right inside of the defense, number 6. That's where Chuck Cecil comes from. Now, he blocked the punt last year against UCLA's way. He comes absolutely cleanly. No chance. He just laid out perfectly. He knew he had it all the way. The ball wasn't even an attempt to be punted, actually. The ball gets kicked around, ultimately gets into the end zone. Gets kicked there accidentally by an Arizona player. If that had been a purposeful kick, it would not have been allowed. Again, an accidental kick. And there's the recovery for the touchdown. But believe it or not, Arizona has now blocked 21 either punts or kicks since 1982. I find that phenomenal. Again, the emphasis on the special teams by Larry Smith.
That's the handsome visage of Chuck Cecil. Arizona leads it by 10.
Go on, Rose Bowl.
Fire Brewing. It's more than a way to make Stroh's and Stroh Light. It's a family tradition, passed down from one generation to another for over 200 years. It's what guarantees that smooth, consistent taste for generations to come.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times. And Stroh's is spoken here.
Just when you need it most, Toyota introduces a roomy new kind of getaway car, the versatile new Toyota Corolla FX16. The all-new FX16 slips through traffic that snarls other cars. 16-valve quick, tires that stick, four-wheel disc equipped. The gutsy new Toyota FX16. What a way to get away from it all. Who could ask for anything more?
Tonight. I'm not too good with numbers, but I can count 3 people dead. A scandal rubs Mike the wrong way.
Please.
The new Mike Hammer on CBS.
That's a nice angle.
4:16 remaining in the first quarter. Arizona's 21st block since '82 has resulted in a Rich Grofenbacher touchdown and a 10-0 lead. And Jeff Baldur's getting ready to kick off. Henley and Carnell Lake are the deep men. This time it's the linebacker, Carnell Lake, number 31. He was a high school running back, and he's down at the 27-yard line.
Let's take another look at Chuck Cecil as he blocks this punt. Now, you see he's the man circled. The left tackle and left guard have to bump him before they're released. Now, watch the left guard. He is just going to go straight down the field without getting his shoulder. He tries to put his left wing up there, but does not do any kind of job of stopping Chuck Cecil down. And I tell you, the punter had absolutely no chance whatsoever. Remarkable record on special teams.
First down 10, UCLA. They have the ball at their own 27. Stevens, draw play. That was mixed up from the outset. Jim Birmingham makes the tackle. In the National League Championship Series, the Mets come from behind and win it 6-5 as Lenny Dykstra hits a 2-run homer after Darryl Strawberry had earlier hit a 3-run shot to tie it up.
On the early goings, looks like Houston was going to do it.
We're live from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Vern Lundquist, Pat Hayden, and John Dockery as UCLA has fallen behind 10-0. Second down and 12. Stevens. Dropped. That's the 17th sack so far this season for the Wildcats of Arizona.
Well, the reason Arizona has so many sacks is because they put you in passing situations. They stop the run. Now watch Mataele come in. He's number 99. He's going to do a nice job. Birmingham is 59. Mataele gets right on the corner of the tackle there. Nowhere. The corner's got to step out and push Mataele away from Stevens so he can step up into the pocket. Boy, that is his 7th sack of the year.
From the island of Tonga, he is only in his 4th year of football. He was a rugby player in Oahu. Third down and 21. 10-0 Arizona leads. They'll keep it conservative and have to punt again. Mataele. Well, that's throwing your cards down on the table on 3rd and 21.
Well, 3rd and 21, Terry Donahue felt they have no rhythm offensively. I don't think it's necessarily a bad call. What the last thing they want to do is another turnover right there. They figure punt the ball away, play decent defense, try to stop them, and start again.
Well, you got to, as Kenny Rogers said, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. And here is Harold Barcade, and we'll keep our eye on Chuck Cecil. He's the 3rd man in from the right-hand side. Here they come again, and they get another one.
Unbelievable.
The ball is down at the 11. Martin Rudolph finally recovered it. That is the 22nd block since 1982.
You know, people forget how much special teams mean to a ball club. They play 30% of the game. And Larry Smith was telling us last night that the punt is the most important play in football, protecting your punter and actually punting. Watch again. This time, UCLA protects Cecil, but number 44, Gibson, is right there. He lays out, and somebody else gets a hand on another Arizona defender. Couldn't catch his number. But there were 2 or 3 Arizona people around the ball there. Again, remarkable. Looked like
Paul Kazmierczak.
He's the one who tipped the ball, but Gibson was in there as well.
First down, Arizona at the 11. Motion flags are down, and that'll settle things down for the moment. Pat, I want to go back and point out something that Arizona does. They do live blocking drills about 15-20 minutes a week, and Bob April, who's the secondary coach and kicking coordinator, is in charge of that. I haven't heard that much of that.
Clock start, offense. You're right, people kind of practice punt blocks, but not live like they do, and they have regulars in there like Cecil and Gibson. They puts a huge premium on the special teams. Like I said, the first meeting when they come into camp each summer is a special teams meeting. That sets the tone.
1 block, recovered for a touchdown. 1 deflected, recovered at the 11. It's first down and 15. David Adams to about the 12.
Now this is obviously going to affect Arizona's play calling. Now their defense and special teams are playing so well, and they're already up by 10 points. You're going to see Arizona kind of pound the ball right there against UCLA. If they have to, they'll kick a field goal, go up 13-0, and force UCLA to throw the ball. There is some confusion there. They're trying to get their blocking schemes. You can see Terry Donahue talking to people who are talking about the size, the gap. People are going to have to button down their protection on the punt block.
Second down and 12. Arizona up by 10 with 1:40 to go, first quarter. Jenkins with the option play. Adams gets a lead block from Charles Webb, and Adams is bumped out of bounds inside the 5 at the 3. That is short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Boy, James Washington really came over and made a play. Here's another look at the option. Now, Alfred Jenkins is a big man. He's 6'4", 218 pounds. Remember, not feeling very well. That looked really like a pitch all the way. Probably should have come down the line a little bit more, but David Adams gets to the outside, and James Washington, number 3, really made a touchdown-saving tackle. But I think had Jenkins run down the line of scrimmage a little bit more, they might have gotten some more out of that.
Adams limps off, and Art Greathouse, the freshman from Tempe, has taken his spot. Wingman to the right side, 3rd and 2 from the 3. Well, we'll see if he got enough. That was Chris McLemore, number 20.
A little surprising to me, though, they actually didn't run to their left, because if they didn't make the first down, they would have been in the middle of the field for an easier field goal. Now they got a severe angle.
And it is short of the first down. It'll be 4th and 1.
I think a kick here, the field goal is the right call. They're going to go up 13-0 if they make the field goal. UCLA offense really has not been productive, and Arizona's defense, no, they are going for it.
They are going for it on 4th and 1. That's close. We'll see where the spot occurs. UCLA says we've got it.
Well, the UCLA team needed a big play, and it came right there with their defense.
And it is short.
Well, I think that could be a very big momentum shift. I'm surprised. If I were the coach again, I kick the field goal because UCLA's offense really isn't doing much.
Let me give you a counter argument to that. Isn't that a testimony to Larry Smith's belief in his defense, that he's got UCLA backed up on the 2? They haven't moved the ball at all so far.
And his offensive line has played well for him this year, but I still think with the way their defense is up 13-0, UCLA has not showed me much.
Maybe a safety. It is. They've done it every which way you can. Stan Mataele.
He has been sensational. We've seen Mataele make a sack on Stevens. We've seen him stop the draw play, and here we see him create the safety. Here's a man that's only played football for 4 years. Watch Mataele. He is number 99. He's going to come right back on the backside. Now the left guard, number 61, Eric Rogers, again puts a wing out there. Doesn't get in his way. And there's no way they're not going to get out of the end zone.
I suppose Larry Smith thought that 12-0 was almost as good as 13.
There's your field goal. Another look. There's a lot of penetration. Actually, Mataele came from the inside right there, right over the center. Nobody even touched him. Made a nice little move. He moves pretty well for a man 280 pounds. Can you believe it? He plays the piano as well.
From the island of Tonga. And that is not a look of pleasure on Terry Donahue's face.
Boy, did you see all the movement in that Arizona front? It's tough for an offensive lineman to try to block a defensive lineman that when you're moving that quickly. Boy, they're just so quick off the ball, you can't get your helmet into them.
12-0 with 39 seconds to go, first quarter. And this has been everything that Arizona dreamed and a nightmare for UCLA. We've had an interception, 2 blocked punts, and a safety. When do we return to conventional football?
And every time you get a safety in a ball game, Vern, there's always going to be some unusual strategy that a coach is going to have to make if the game gets close.
There's an interesting thing that Dave Yaggy, our statistician, just pointed out. That was the first time this year, however, that Arizona has not scored once they've been inside the opposing 20-yard line. They did score, but their defensive unit did it after the offense was stopped on 4th and 1. Free kick, Derek Hill has it. Watch again as Stan Mataele, number 99, gets the safety.
That man's 280 pounds, and he's an excited 280-pounder. Rightfully so.
Took up football at Sacramento City College. The coach there saw him lifting weights, and he was lifting 500 pounds, and the coach's eyes got big and said, hey.
That's good coaching, isn't it?
Right.
Put him on the line.
34 seconds to go, first quarter. Alfred Jenkins, play fake. Now here's where he's dangerous. UCLA looks disheartened on defense.
Well, the defense has had to do so much the last couple of weeks for UCLA. There's just too much pressure on the UCLA defense. Now, this is a play you really can't defend against. Now, UCLA's pass coverage, they play a lot of man coverage, and a man who is not covered in man-for-man defense is the quarterback. They instructed Jenkins, if his receivers were covered, just to take the ball under his arm and get downfield. He did a beautiful job of running.
Ought to be the final play of the first quarter. Option play. David Adams, caught and dropped. Down at the 45. Carnell Lake, number 31, made the tackle. That's the end of the first quarter, and it has been an Arizona joyride through 15. We'll return to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, after this message and a word from your local station.
Something bigger, to master a more challenging world, to feel the confidence and pride of knowing who you are, what you can do. Show the world your U.S. Navy. Live the adventure. Call 1-800-327-NAVY.
This is CBS.
This year, if you want your money to go further, you don't have to go far at all. Your local Subaru dealer has prices starting as low as $56.96. See your Southern California Subaru dealer.
Now, let's have a look. That's
No
right.
two doctors are alike.
Lights, action,
That's why when you choose MaxiCare Health Plan, you can choose your own MaxiCare doctor.
Uh-huh.
A doctor who will know you and who you can see as often as you need without ever paying a deductible or filling out any forms. MaxiCare lets you pick a doctor you feel comfortable with.
Very good, very good. Well done.
The Rock and Roll Evening News tonight at 5.
Terry Donahue has been called by some the Wizard of Worry, and I'm sure the furrows in his brow have increased in the last 15 minutes.
Well, what has to happen here, the defense has to come up with a big play, really just to give their offense another chance, whether it's a fumble, a sack, an interception, something like that to give their offense a chance in good field position.
Arizona, in the meantime, opens the second quarter with a 2nd down and 12 at the UCLA 45-yard line. Derek Hill starts in motion. Jenkins looks deep. Settles right side. Derek Hill to the 20-yard line, another first down. The problems continue for UCLA. The hayride continues for Arizona. Marcus Turner made the tackle. Look at it again.
Nice touch there by Alfred Jenkins, and the offensive line did their job because there was really no one near Alfred Jenkins. Look at the protection. No one's breaking through right there. Plenty of time for Jenkins to pick out a receiver. Nice little touch there. He came all the way across the field, and that's a very well-designed play by Arizona.
First down 10, Arizona. They already lead 12-0. A handoff to David Adams, tries right guard, then slips out to right tackle where he is caught and dropped. Vern Lundquist, Pat Hayden, and John Dockery live in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, where 2 blocked punts, an interception, and a safety have resulted ultimately in a 12-0 Arizona lead. And it has been an awesome Wildcat display. UCLA came in with concerns. They did not play well last week. Arizona still not knowing what they had despite being 4-0. And in quest, of course, of their first ever trip to the Rose Bowl. Alfred Jenkins playing despite weakness from a virus that hit him on Monday night. 2nd down and 10. The option to the left side. Jenkins delays and pitches to Adams. That's down to the 11-yard line where he's knocked out of bounds.
And that was a little nicer option there by Alfred Jenkins because he kept the ball a little bit longer the first time we saw him run. He pitched the ball a little bit too early. This time he comes down the line of scrimmage. A great block by Jeff Reinhardt, the left tackle, number 60. But watch how long this time he hangs onto the ball. He reads the defense. When someone comes up on him, then he pitches the ball to David Adams. Craig Rutledge fought off a block there to make a nice tackle.
That brings up a 3rd down and 1 with 14:07 to go first half. And they will go from the I formation at the 11. The fullback, Chris McLemore, number 20, senior from Las Vegas, tackled by the 2 linebackers, Norton and Greg Boland. Boland starting for Chance Johnson.
Well, the offensive line for Arizona has been another thing that's really made Larry Smith so happy because we've seen them both protect Alfred Jenkins on that pass to Hill a few moments ago, and then they really are controlling the line of scrimmage. You're seeing none of the kind of penetration by the UCLA defense that the Arizona defense is giving the UCLA offense. So offensive line doing a great job.
First down and 10 Arizona, 1st and goal actually from the 9-yard line with a 12-0 lead. We'll have the Prudential College football report with Jim Nance back in our New York studios at halftime as you saw some of the top 10 scores roll by.
Can't give up a touchdown here.
Reverse. 1 man to beat. And he can't beat the 1 man. Boy, Darrell Henley really did a terrific job of staying home and diagnosing that play.
Well, that is really tough when you're on defense, too, and you're trying to come up with a big defensive play. You know you need a big defensive play, but Darrell Henley, number 2, stayed right at home. Set up well, they run a couple of option plays, then they come back to the reverse to Hill, but number 2, Henley, is right there. Not only did you stay at home, he made a good tackle, was not juked out by Hill. Good play.
2nd down and 6 from the 5. If you joined us late, Chuck Cecil's blocked punt resulted in a touchdown. An interception set up a field goal. Stan Montaele's tackle of Gaston Green was a safety. It's 12-0 Arizona. David Adams. Oh, what a block he got. Flag is down. There is a touchdown and also a flag.
And it's a holding call.
Arizona holding. It'll come back. They'll wipe it out. And it was well away from the play.
Yeah, it looked like the holding call was on the right side of the line of scrimmage when they ran left. Jeff Reinhardt, the left tackle for Arizona, is a huge man, over 300 pounds, and really controlling his man. They're going to run to his side right here. Just a little power play. Now, we've seen Arizona run both the option, we've seen them throw the ball, and then run the power play off the line of scrimmage. But Reinhardt and Bachekis, the left guard, both made good blocks.
The holding call was on the right side of the offensive line. It wipes out the David Adams touchdown and the great Joe Pryor block, and gives Arizona a second down and goal from the 15-yard line. Art Greathouse back in the lineup, number 40 now. Lined up in the eye behind Joe Pryor. Naked reverse, Jenkins out of the tackle, but then caught and dropped at the 19. Ken Norton, number 41, collapsed around it.
Look at Eric Smith, number 98, really was the one who really stopped the play. Stayed at home again. Good disciplined defense inside the 20 here. Watch Eric Smith. He runs down Alfred Jenkins. This is another dimension that Jenkins can provide for you. But Smith was not fooled, and that's the kind of plays the UCLA defense needs right now, and then Norton finishes them off.
The touchdown wiped out by the holding call. That was a sack and a loss back to the 19. It's 3rd and goal from the 19. Jeff Fairholm is back in the game. He left with what appeared to be a shoulder injury in the first quarter. Jenkins, good blocking. Deep in the end zone, and the man was out of bounds across the end line. It's Fairholm, who was trying to tiptoe on the back, and he may have re-injured that shoulder.
Well, he really took a shot there, I'll tell you that. Terrific concentration by Fairholm as well, but as you mentioned, he was trying to get the foot down in bounds at the end. Watch the hit here at the end of the play by Fairholm. Just 1 foot he's trying to keep in. I think it's Rutledge there who really gives him a nice pop in the, underneath the that shoulder, the left shoulder that he had hurt.
Gary Costin is on to try a 36-yard field goal. He is connected once today from 35. Got it. And the Arizona lead continues to mount. It's up to 15 right now.
Introducing the all-new Toyota Tercel for 1987. Simply more bang for the buck. Tercel for 87, Toyota's lowest priced car, now gives you explosive new styling, more power to pass with a new 12-valve fuel-efficient engine, and quality that has made Toyota Tercel more trouble-free than any other new car sold in its class. Drive it. You'll get a bang out of it.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Die Hard.
The most powerful version of America's favorite replacement battery.
Die Hard.
For confident starts in all kinds of weather, the Sears Die Hard Incredicell battery. One more way we installed confidence at Sears. And here's another great Die Hard battery, our best-selling Die Hard. On sale now. You save $10, just $59.99 with trade-in.
There's more for your life
at Sears.
Tomorrow, the firepower of Washington's Jay Schrader, the horsepower of Dallas's Herschel Walker. It all starts with the NFL Today on CBS Sports.
Back with 11:56 to go first half. Arizona on top 15-0. Byron Evans' interception set up a Gary Costin field goal to make it 3-0. Chuck Cecil's block resulted in a touchdown. That was 10-0. Stan Montaele tackled Gaston Green in the end zone for a safety. That made it 12-0, and Costin just kicked his second field goal. It's 15-0 Arizona. Jeff Bowder's kick is taken 4 yards in the end zone by Henley. A flag is down. Henley is finally down at the 18-yard line.
There was a fumble there. I don't know who recovered it. Looks like UCLA did.
Flag is over on this side of the field, too. Henley recovered his own fumble.
It's the first time the return team, though, really got the ball out past the 20-yard line.
Referee today is Jack Springer. He's going to let us know about the infraction. James Springer, beg your pardon. Clipping.
I spoke too soon about being past the 20-yard line.
Oh, if it hasn't gone wrong for UCLA, it will. Once again, as we just said, Costin 35-yard field goal after an interception made it 3-0. Then the touchdown, Cecil block punt recovered by Gropenbrocker. That made it 10-0. Stan Mataele tackled Green for a safety to make it 12-0. And then most recently, Costin's second field goal made Arizona a 15-point leader in the ballgame. Matt Stevens at quarterback. James Primus and Mel Farr, the backs now behind him. The crowd, that's an Arizona crowd down in that end zone. Pass is lobbed out and caught.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to technical difficulties, our program has been temporarily interrupted. Please stand by. We will resume just as soon as possible.
Hope you get back soon. Vern?
All right, John. Brendan McCracken in on the wishbone. Gaston Green is the ball carrier. Well, we had some audio and video problems, but those have now been corrected. And on that second down play, which you might have missed, Gaston Green took the pitch out of the wishbone, and they'll measure for the first down.
Well, what UCLA really needs to do to get themselves back in this ball game, Vern, is just kind of ground out a couple of first downs right now. It's not so much that they even have to come up with a big play offensively, but keep their defense on the bench, let them rest a bit, pick up a couple of first downs, calm themselves down a little bit, and then try to get themselves back in the ball game.
That much needed for the first down. And it'll be 3rd and a foot for the UCLA Bruins. Well, they have been perennially slow starters, but it's usually in the 80s been this week, Pat, when they picked up the steam.
Well, as Terry Donahue said, they cannot afford to lose today because 2 losses today, in the way the competitive conference is, they're out of the Rose Bowl hunt.
Wishbone again, McCracken the quarterback. He'll keep it. And at least quiet the Arizona crowd for just a moment.
Well, the UCLA defense has to be happy to get it in 3 downs of rest at least.
See if McCracken stays in or comes out. And I believe he's going to stay in the lineup. He is.
Well, here comes Matt Stevens in a little bit late. Now, again, this was the down. McCracken is the running quarterback right now. Stevens wanted to throw the ball successfully on first down to Flipper Anderson.
10:30 to go in the half. 15-0 Arizona leads. Stevens goes deep left side. Almost picked off again. Danny Lockett was looking for his first of the season.
Stevens tried to lock it off. He knew coming to the line of scrimmage he wants to throw the ball to the left, but the play action fake is not fooling anybody because UCLA is not running the ball well. If you can't run the ball well, the linebackers aren't going to stay home. And there is Danny Lockett laying out, trying to make the interception. He really helped on the out route. The outside linebacker did a fine job.
2nd down and 10. Bob Garibaldi has come in as a wide receiver now, number 20 for UCLA. Boomer Gibson, number 44, makes the tackle on James Primus. The NFL today, tomorrow. Old buddy of mine, Charlie Waters, will be in the studio at 12:30 Eastern Time. And they have turned into Miami Device, the Miami defense. That'll be discussed tomorrow. Don Shula's having some defensive problems in the NFL.
I think I made Charlie Waters All-Pro a few years. Threw him a couple of balls.
You helped. 3rd and 10. Stevens gets rid of it. Fennell drops it.
Well, their offense just is not running on all engines right, all pistons right now. Everybody seems to be making a little mistake here and there. The protection either breaks down or receivers not getting the right yardage for the first down. And now, what do you think Barcade is feeling like? The last 2 punts have been blocked.
After the last punt that was blocked, Barcade and Terry Donahue had a long discussion on the sideline. He's got to be fearing for his life back there.
And this is going to set up a good return by Arizona because they're so concerned about the block.
They have the return on, as a matter of fact. Derek Hill at the 40. Pretty good downfield coverage by UCLA. That's a 41-yard kick by Harold Barkade, a return of 4. Arizona's got the ball back.
Today's Equitable has new ideas in financial planning that can help pay for the home you live in or build you a vacation home. Today's Equitable, your key to financial opportunity. Our new ideas not only protect you, but can help send your kids to college. Today's Equitable, your key to financial opportunity. Our agents and financial planners can show you new ways to make high returns on your money.
We are the Equitable.
Your key to financial opportunity.
Your newspaper, October 12th. These coupons match them at a Gillette World Series big ticket display. Win cash, cars, box seats at the World Series. Save up to $16 on these products. Big ticket prizes from Gillette.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all of the leading brands. None get rid of dandruff better than Selsun Blue.
Hey, Murph, a postcard from Nick.
Oh. Hey, what's it say, Dad?
This is it, guys. The Big Apple, and I mean big. You know, it took me all day to find the street my dad grew up on, and it's just like he said it was. I even met a man who remembered Pop. Then I saw the first lady he fell in love with when he came to America. If only Dad knew how Unical 76 is helping to restore her beauty. And she is a beauty.
Saving the lady with spirit. The spirit of 76.
It's now time to present this week's Toyota Leadership Award to team players who've been singled out by their school's coaching and faculty staff for outstanding performance in the areas of team contributions, academics, and citizenship. Today's game leadership winners are Chuck Cecil from Arizona. Chuck is a junior business administration major with a 3.42 grade point average from La Mesa, California. And Dave Franey from UCLA. Dave is a senior economics major with a 3-point grade point average. He's from Kansas City, Missouri. Toyota will donate a check in the amount of $1,000 to each school's General Scholarship Fund. 9:33 to go first half. Arizona has the ball and the lead. David Adams spilled behind the line by the nose guard Terry Toomey. Rushing yardage so far in the game. Remember that Terry Donahue said before the game, we can't run on Arizona? 65 for the Wildcats and 3 for UCLA. They're giving up this Arizona defense 83 yards in the ground per game, and they have been running the ball in excess of 200 yards per game. And that, Pat, has really been the big difference in their offensive scheme.
It's the balance.
Jenkins will throw, however, on second down, and he's going deep. Good coverage downfield. That may be the big play UCLA needs. Marcus Turner, number 24.
That was one terrific play by Marcus Turner. He read the quarterback's eyes, saw the play all the way. Now watch, he goes up and catches the ball at its highest point, takes it away from the receiver, and then he does a nifty job of some downfield blocking. You mentioned the UCLA defense really has done their job today, as they did last week. They played very, very well. Turner picks up a nice block. The only disappointing thing here, how do you get the clean block there, and perhaps one more he may have scored because there wasn't anybody else out there.
And for the first time on first down, McCracken is in at quarterback. Matt Stevens stays on the bench. He's the option runner, and he keeps this time and gets about 3.5. Boy, first down has been just absolutely terrible for UCLA in this game so far.
And it was their downfall last week as well. There's a good look at Brendan McCracken. 4.6 speeds, real strong legs, can break a lot of tackles for a quarterback. Homer Smith said he would make a great running back. Of course, there's no room at running back at UCLA, but he's a great, big, strong quarterback. Want to get him out there on the option. Not a great thrower.
Second down and 6, 8:11 to go in the half. Backs in the eye. Gaston Green and Marcus Greenwood are the running backs now for UCLA. They trail by 15.
There's too much time.
Yeah. 25-second clock had expired.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're having so much trouble on offense. That's the last thing you want is a penalty for too much time. I think it's one of those things you can really avoid.
Here's James Springer.
Delay, offense.
Pat, what do you think the significance is of this move now that Donahue has made with his quarterbacks?
Well, I think at this point he wants to try to put some new life in his offense, and sometimes a backup quarterback can do that. Could just give you a spark. The Arizona defense doesn't know anything about Brendan McCracken, doesn't even know really that he's got that kind of speed or option. So he's just trying to give his team a spark.
Well, they have gone to the option again, and that rush defense of Arizona. Danny Lockett, number 49, makes the tackle on Marcus Greenwood, number 45.
Well, I tell you, when you play option quarterback, you have to be strong and physical because you're going to take some hits. Watch Brendan McCracken, number 12, as he comes down the line. Now, he's trying to read Danny Lockett at the end of the line of scrimmage, but one of the Hinkle, number 97, really made the play on him before he even got to the end of the line of scrimmage. That's, again, very good penetrating defense.
And a familiar circumstance for the Bruins, 3rd and 12. McCracken on the sprint, being chased, gets away from the potential tackle, and then is knocked down at the 40. It'll be 4th down. As Boomer Gibson, number 44, the outside linebacker, makes the stop.
I'll tell you what, even when you think you have a little breath of fresh air, I thought McCracken would have been able to pick up a first down there. They just react. The defense is so quick, they can react and get there and stop you before you make the yard markers.
Bargate has had a long day's journey into oblivion today, and he's on to punt again.
Poor guy.
Here comes a bit of a rush, and look at the result. Shanked it off his right foot.
Well, you don't blame him. You're sure the coaches are telling him to get rid of the ball quickly. You can't blame Bargate.
Arizona's got it back, and they're in great field position with the ball at the 43.
This Heisman Trophy moment is brought to you by Kodak. In 1935, Jay Berwanger of the University of Chicago received the first Downtown Athletic Club trophy. It was awarded to the best football player east of the Mississippi. Playing every down of every game, Berwanger was Chicago football, and he was better known than the statue that would become the Heisman.
Because I was the first one, being in the Downtown Athletic Club and looking out at the Statue of Liberty and then traveling around New York, the Club 21, the Rockettes and the plays and so forth, was fascinating.
Introducing Kodacolor VRG, film that captures the color of power. The most accurate, realistic color and print film is here. New Kodacolor VRG. The color of
6:27 to go on the first half. That has been dominated by the Wildcats of Arizona, 15-0. Elsewhere in college football this afternoon, top-ranked Miami leading West Virginia in the first quarter by a 14-0 count. Alabama leading at the half by 17. 10-3 Michigan lead in our other televised game on CBS. Penn State came from behind to win, and OU and Texas are scoreless in the first quarter in Dallas. 1st and 10 Arizona with a 15-0 lead. Jenkins hands it off on the dive play. Chris McLemore, the senior from Las Vegas. And the other top 10 scores, we'll run them down for you. Vanderbilt fell to Auburn 31-9. Pat Dye's bunch off to a good start. Tech and Arkansas scoreless in the second. And Iowa leading Wisconsin 7-3. Don't forget, Jimmy Nance coming up with the Prudential College Football Report at halftime. 2nd and 7. We're just under the 6-minute mark in the first half of play from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. David Adams to the 50-yard line.
Well, the left side of the Arizona offensive line has really done a nice job here in the first half. Val Bachekis, the left guard, and Reinhardt, the left tackle, really have controlled their men and let David Adams, a little back, who's 5'6", kind of sneak through. But the surprising things to look at, 318-pound Reinhardt. Unbelievable. They try to put him on a diet. They have him ride the exercise bicycle at lunch for 20 or 30 minutes and stay away from the lunch table. Doesn't look like he's doing a very good job of it, does it?
Well, see the comparison, 277 to 240. That was the same problem UCLA's defensive line had last week. Jenkins looking deep. Has a man open. Derek Hill caught it out of bounds. Must have been bobbling the ball. Oh, they're in love with this guy, though, as a deep threat.
Boy, isn't he fluid? I mean, he is so smooth when he's running his pass routes, and he catches the ball very fluidly. But I think he did bobble it here. when you're running the ball and doing the kind of things that Arizona is doing, it's so easy. All your offense kind of falls into place. This is the same pass that Hill caught earlier. I think he might have had possession of that one. That looked like that should have been a possession and a reception. Now here's another phase of the game that Arizona is very good at. Rodriguez can punt the ball inside the opponent's 10-yard line. Likes to punt it very high. They've down, 7 punts inside the opponent's 8-yard line this year.
And watch for Chuck Cecil down it. The left-footed kick, very high, not particularly deep. And the catch is made, a fair catch at the 17-yard line. UCLA needs to find some key to unlock the puzzle.
Looking out for number one. Looking out for number one.
Toyota, looking out for you with a powerful new Toyota 4Runner. 4-wheel drive, room for 5, and an unlimited capacity for excitement.
Looking out for number one.
Looking out for you has made the Toyota 4Runner #1 in owner satisfaction. Who could ask for anything more?
You know, the weirdest things happened to me, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, here I am stocking up for Halloween. I got my steaks, got my ribs. Then when I asked the stock boy where the Coors Light is stacked, he points me to the Coors and Coors Light Halloween display, and I'm on it. Whoa, it was like deja vu. Whoa, it was like deja vu. Look for it where you buy beer. I shop here because they slash prices. There goes another one. Happy Halloween, darling.
Next Saturday, the Hawkeyes of Iowa take on the driving force of Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. It's a bout of the Big Ten's best. Next Saturday on CBS Sports.
That game, of course, coming up next weekend on CBS Sports. Arizona leading UCLA 15-0 here. And tomorrow in the NFL, most of you will see Washington against Dallas. Those of you in the Southern California area will see the Rams as they visit Atlanta in a battle for NFC West supremacy. And Minnesota is up in Candlestick to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Check the local listings for the game in your area tomorrow. It begins with the NFL Today on CBS. High formation. Matt Stevens, by the way, is back in at quarterback. Drills the ball. And Paco Craig, number 26, in a wide receiver spot. Pushes UCLA out to a first down at the 37-yard line.
This is the kind of play that UCLA needs to get. A ball to a receiver while he's on the move. Number 26, Paco Craig, off the play-action fake, the slant, pulled Chuck Cecil, the strong safety, up, and Craig got right behind him. If he breaks a tackle there, he's really got a big play. But that's the kind of play they need on first down. They don't need to try to go downtown, get it all back on one play.
Prior to that gain, UCLA had 45 yards of total offense. And again, they'll throw on first down. This is the game plan coming in. Catch made.
Boy, and a nice catch by Anderson, too.
Yes, sir.
Well, he held that ball up rather quickly, too, didn't he? But they've got something going here now. At first he went outside to Craig, and then he comes to Willie Anderson off the play-action fake. Finally, Stevens gets a pretty good protection. The ball is a little bit low, but watch him go down and really lay out. Trapped that ball. May have trapped that ball, but he is trying to show the official that he did not trap it.
He may have caught that on the short hop. At any rate, it stands at the 45-yard line. Stevens rolls right. Nobody open. He'll have to hoof it. And he does. Out of bounds with another first down at the 34. Well, they have found a spark, Pat.
And that's exactly what they needed. Just a couple of first downs to get themselves going. Now with 4:08 left here in the first half, they're only down by 15 points. If they can put 7 on the board and perhaps go in down 15-7, then you have a new ball game. But it's very important, I think, for them to get a touchdown, not a field goal here before halftime.
Neuheisel letting Terry Donahue know what play has been called from the press box.
You know, when you're on offense at this time of the game in the season, when you've already lost one game in the conference, you can let it all hang out on offense, too. They might as well just have some fun and and really go after it.
Gaston Green. Boy, look at the defensive line play. And then the linebackers come up and make the pop. Byron Evans.
Gaston Green was just bouncing down the offensive line. They're trying to find a little crease, but there wasn't any. He kept bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. The Arizona defense really moved down the line of scrimmage laterally extremely well and then finally got to Green. I'll tell you what, I have not seen too many college defenses with the kind of, that can get the kind of penetration that Arizona's gotten thus far today. Remember, this UCLA team is still a pretty good football team in my estimation.
That'll be a 2nd down and 10, 3.5 to go in the first half. Stevens looks deep, fires deep, man is open. Ball was short. Intended. Chuck Cecil got down and made the play on Willie Anderson.
Boy, now Chuck Cecil was the free safety on this play, Vern. He is normally the strong safety, but he really saved a touchdown. Had this ball been thrown a little bit farther, Stevens could have let Flipper Anderson run under the ball, but watch, he jumps up with his left hand, just tips the ball out, but he could have thrown that ball a little bit higher. We're going to get another look. Left hand of Cecil playing free safety rather than strong safety. The ball was definitely underthrown.
That brings up a 3rd and 10. Split backs this time. Blitz for one of the few times by Arizona, and Stevens has to get rid of it.
Now the fans are booing, but that's a great play by Stevens in my mind.
Yes.
He avoids a big, big sack. Now it's 4th down. I don't see too many kickers coming onto the field.
No. Punter or field goal.
That's what I mean.
Looks like Donahue will go for it on 4th and 10 with 3:18 to go.
Well, like I said, he needs a touchdown, not a field goal here.
Carl Durrell comes wide to the right side. Backs are in the eye. 5-man rush again. Stevens gets good protection, goes left. The ball is dropped at the 21. Willie Anderson had it go right through his hands.
And remember last week, Willie Anderson really bobbled the touchdown pass against ASU, and who knows what kind of game it would have been then had he caught that. 4th and 8 situation, and this is why UCLA lost last week and why they're in trouble today. Somebody always seems to be out of sync. Top of the screen, he pushes him off well, pushes the defensive back off. It's an easy first down. The ball is well thrown. I think he's worried about his feet, but it obviously should have been caught, and that's why they lost last week and why they're in trouble today.
That is the 6th time in the first half they have gone to Willie Anderson, and they've yet to complete a pass. 1st down and 10. 2 wide receivers for Arizona, wide left. Jenkins to Adams.
You know, little things like that, you wonder how they change a complexion of a game. You know, they get the first down there, perhaps they score a touchdown, then it's 15-7. Now Arizona maybe just runs out the rest of the clock and you're down by 15 points. I mean, those are subtle little things, but they can drive a coach crazy.
Well, Pat, go back to your point. When they started that last drive, they had to get something on the board, and at the very least, they were then in field goal position.
Absolutely. Now, psychologically, it's really a blow.
2nd down with 2:43 to go, first half. Arizona leads 15-zip, 2nd down and 6 Wildcats. Jenkins, quick screen, John Holt. Horton. And he's cut down. Good defensive play by Chucky Miller, number 37.
Well, for the 2nd week in a row, I think the UCLA defense really has gone beyond the call of duty. They have done everything they possibly can to put their team in a position to win.
Bruins call timeout and stop the clock with 2:22 to go. So they're hopeful of stopping and getting the ball back.
Gee, Da Vinci, you look wasted.
I've got to present the helicopter, the spiral staircase, and the parachute by 10 o'clock. I'll never get it together.
Lenny, relax. We'll make it look great with this Xerox desktop publisher. The workstation lets you create graphics and mix them with words. Then the laser printer prints everything out laser perfect.
Eat your heart out, Gutenberg.
Desktop publishing from Team Xerox. It brings out the genius in you.
Gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. That being so stated, on to the job at hand. Please take note. Listen carefully. To begin,
every one of these executives flew to this important business meeting on a different airline, sampling various meals, beverages, onboard services, and other amenities. Can you find the one executive that flew here on Alaska Airlines?
Plus 6.5. Divide the whole quantity by 10.
Terry Donahue prowling the sidelines. His team defensively now facing an Arizona team that has shown a proclivity for running a draw play on 3rd and long. See what they have in mind on 3rd and 5. There's the draw play. There's Adams. And there's a first down at the 47-yard line.
And you absolutely called it. The same play they ran earlier on a 3rd and 8 situation and picked up the first down. You know, UCLA, to beat UCLA, you have to beat their nickel packages. And this time, although they were in just a regular 34, the draw play caught them by surprise. It was overrun by the outside linebackers. The inside linemen made some good blocks. And then David Adams just outran Chucky Miller for the first down.
He keeps going, and watch this. 5'6", triple threat. Going for the high jump this spring.
He is an exciting player.
Greathouse is in now on first down 10 with 2:16 to go in the half. Jenkins. Flag is down. Jenkins finds a receiver but can't complete the pass, and that may be holding.
Doesn't Jenkins seem to have a slow delivery?
Yes, he does.
He really takes the ball getting out of his hand takes a long way to get there. Of course, his defense plays the way they have been this year. He didn't have to worry about throwing too many passes, does he?
That's right.
Spoke with him last night. Really has been feeling lousy all week long. Missed practice on Monday.
Michigan leading Michigan State 13-3, and Iowa now leading Wisconsin 7-6. And those two teams, of course, will meet next week. It was just a year ago they went in ranked number 1 and number 2. Current rankings have the Michigan Wolverines 4th and Iowa 10th, and you'll see that game.
Decline, second down.
You'll see it next Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Boy, that Michigan defense a year ago reminds me somewhat of Arizona's defense. Remember how good that defense was for the Wolverines a year ago?
You know, UCLA has been a dominant national team for years, for eons. Arizona hasn't, and boy, they get a game against the defending Rose Bowl champs like this. I think from a national perspective, it means a lot to them.
Absolutely, and they deserve some national prominence because Larry Smith has done a remarkable job there in his tenure, his 7th year at Arizona. They've always been competitive against the best teams in the Pac-10.
Adams, they try to draw play again. This time they lose 3. Eric Smith, number 98, read it. That'll be 3rd down, and we're under the 2-minute mark now.
All right, it's the second time Eric Smith has made a real nice play today. Oof. Lou Holtz had a tough time in Notre Dame.
1 and 5. Carney, the field goal kicker of the Irish, missed a field goal with 38 seconds left. It would have given them the victory. Larry Smith, as Pat said, now in his 7th year at the University of Arizona. He's obviously found a home there. Want to see why? Take a look at the campus.
During its centennial this year, the University of Arizona scored a lot more than points. Arizona faculty discovered another solar system, uncovered an ancient city on Cyprus, and successfully implanted the first artificial heart as a bridge to life. But we also scored with Arizona's school kids. Our researchers shared their knowledge and enthusiasm for learning last summer. The University of Arizona in Tucson, making us all healthier, wealthier, and wiser.
From the activity of brew and walk to the serenity of the sculpture garden, the pulse of UCLA is strong. UCLA is one of the world's most distinguished universities. Its academic and research programs are ranked among the very best. UCLA students represent the brightest scholastic achievers. They benefit from the strong tie between teaching and research. UCLA graduates are making an impact on society. UCLA, an investment in the future.
1:59 to go in the first half. 3rd down and 12 now for the Arizona Wildcats back across midfield. Chuck Knox, whose mother is here at the game and whose dad is flying down with the Seahawks to play the Raiders tomorrow, is into the lineup. Number 33 for the Wildcats of Arizona. 3rd down and 12. Knox with the block. Jenkins with the throw. And the catch is made by Derek Hill at the 35.
Boy, it is so tough on a defensive line when you have a quarterback who can get out of the pocket. But watching the bottom part of your screen, Derek Hill. Remember, he's caught the ball going over the middle twice now, and he's faking deep. Darrell Henley thinks it's going to be a deep ball, just overruns it, and then he goes up high to make the catch. That's a very nice play by Derek Hill, but set up by the deep pass to Hill earlier and the passes over the middle to Hill.
Now let's see how anxious Arizona State is to get one more score on the board. 1:37 to go. Jenkins all day goes deep. Incomplete. John Horton, the intended receiver, and James Washington defending.
And good read by James Washington. That ball should not have been thrown by Alfred Jenkins. He was double covered. Washington, the free safety, number 3 there. He was hurt didn't practice all week. But had he made an interception there, which he had a chance to, that again might have turned things around for UCLA.
That stops the clock with 1:31 remaining in the first half. Jenkins is 4 of 10 now throwing the ball, and needs 12 yards to become Arizona's number 2 all-time passer. Second down and 10. Adams. Boy, they've crossed him up with that draw play a lot.
He is so quick, David Adams. And the thing about him, even though he is small, he is a very strong runner. He can break tackles even though he only weighs 167 pounds. Watch him pop through David Adams. Again, 5'6", 167 pounds. But his offensive tackles are 6'2" and 6'3" and about 280 pounds. If you're a defensive linebacker or defensive safety, it's really tough to see him. Boom, he pops right through there, and the safeties don't know where he is.
Now Arizona has called timeout. They want to stop the clock on 3rd down and 2 with 1:03 to go, and Larry Smith will talk it over.
Well, speaking with Larry Smith this week, after his first year at Arizona, he was looking for ways to win. They were not successful, obviously, in his first years. He was looking for ways to win. He broke down UCLA film because they were successful in Washington. He felt the way to get himself an advantage in this conference was to spend a lot of time on the special teams. He patterned his team after the University of Washington and UCLA.
Our game is 15-0. Arizona leading, 1:03 to go before halftime. Tomorrow on the NFL Today, former Cowboy Charlie Waters will join Brent Earth, Jimmy, and Will McDonough in the studio. They'll also take a look at the struggling Miami Dolphin defense and the Cowboys and Redskins, 2 battered rivals going into one of their classic showdowns. Battered in the sense that they're both injured. A lot of injuries for both teams. All that and more tomorrow on the NFL Today.
How do you see that Dallas Redskins game?
I think it's going to be a very close game. I really do, because the Redskins are injured. Now, Danny White probably won't play for Dallas. Dorsett should be back for the Cowboys. But the linebacker position, Pat, for the Redskins has become very, very injury prone. Maybe a dandy. Terry Donahue wondering what in the world can his team do.
Coach Jay Schrader here.
Some of you will see the Rams in Atlanta tomorrow, that important NFC West showdown in Atlanta. And others will see the Minnesota-San Francisco game. So check the local listings for the game in your area. 1:03 to go in the half, 15-0. Arizona leads. Whoa, boy. And look what happens. He runs pretty well for a man of average height.
You know, it really happens so often when you have a mix-up in the backfield. The defense either overruns the play or somehow they just don't, they seem out of sync. Now watch, Jenkins and Adams are going to bump right into one another, and Jenkins is going to see him on his way there. He says, "Get going, David." And he does, but the UCLA players really had overrun the play, reacted, and the I formation has allowed David Adams to kind of pick his way. Last year, Arizona didn't run much of this I formation, ran more split backs, but the I formation has taken advantage of Adams' ability to find kind of some soft spots in the defense.
86 yards on the ground for David Adams in the first half. Jenkins on the roll. That one's overthrown and incomplete. Intended for Chris McElmore.
Let's take another look at Alfred Jenkins as he redirects David Adams. Again, they're going to mix up in the backfield. Looks like Adams ran right into Jenkins. Then he pushes in there with his right hand. Yeah, go left, he says. Go left, young man. And he gets him off on his way. That's good teamwork, isn't it?
Sure is. Horace Greeley at quarterback. Go left, young man. Charles Webb is in now. It'll be 2nd down and 8, 51 seconds to go.
2 timeouts left.
The option play again. Adams looks for blocking help, doesn't get it. Now circles back and is down at the 19-yard line. Carnell Lake, number 31, caught up with him, and there's a flag at the 7-yard line. Clock stops, 41 seconds to go.
The UCLA defense has done a pretty good job defending the option play today of Arizona. Holding. I'll tell you, David Adams is an exciting player. Does make some things happen, even though he lost some yardage on this play. But well played. Terry Toomey fought off a couple of blocks and forced Jenkins to pitch the ball before he wanted. Good play by Toomey. And then old David Adams decides he's going to redirect his field. Generally, that's a bad play, particularly down by the goal line, where you're trying to get yourself in a position to get in the end zone. I'm sure Larry Smith will have that conversation with him later.
Holding was declined. The story has become legendary in the Tucson area now. When Adams came out of high school, the coaching staff had a vote on whether to offer him a scholarship. The vote was 8-1 against offering him a scholarship. But proving the power of the head man, the one vote was Larry Smith. He got his scholarship.
Sounds like a South American election to me.
It does. Third down. Arizona's 3 of 3 on third down conversions in this drive. Jenkins goes deep, knocked down at the 1-yard line.
Chucky Miller made a real nice defensive play there. I'll tell you what, the UCLA defensive backs have played very well. Take a look at Chucky Miller, number 37, who has been injured. Again, the defensive backs, we've seen Henley play well. James Washington almost made a big play defensively. And here it's Chucky Miller's time. Reads the quarterback, jumps beautifully without pass interference, knocks the ball down. That's good play.
And that brings on Gary Costin for the third time today. Costin has hit, as you look at Chucky Miller, Costin has hit from 35 and 36. And this field goal, well, time has been called.
Timeout, UCLA.
Bruins call timeout and stop the clock with 17 seconds to go. Well, it'll be a interesting halftime for the Bruins, I would think.
Well, the difference so far in this half, in my mind, is Flipper Anderson's drop on the 4th down and 8, which would have put them in a position certainly for 3 points, but more importantly with 7 points. Now down 15-0, Terry Donahue, in my mind, says to his team, hey, we've got nothing to lose now. Let's go out and really be aggressive. Let's get the ball in the air. If he has to use McCracken some as his option quarterback, I think he'll probably do that. Still, Matt Stevens is his best thrower, and you're going to have to feature some pass in the second half.
Well, we mentioned that UCLA has been an abysmally slow-starting team in the 80s. In 83, they started off 0-3-1, but look at the finish. They finished with 7 victories. In 84, a 3-2 start. They finished 9-3. In 85, 2-1-1. They finished 9-2-1 and won the Rose Bowl. But this year, in this week, it doesn't look that good. And this has been the week, the second week in October, when they have, at least in this decade, turned it around.
But they still, they're one big defensive play, perhaps, maybe a block punt themselves, a touchdown, and then they're right back in the ball game with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Costin will try it from 36 yards out. Kick is up. Good again. He's 3 for 3. The freshman delivers.
And psychologically, I think that hurts UCLA again. They're giving up 3 more points with 14 seconds left in the half.
And especially since it comes after their only offensive spark of the first half. And then the drop that Pat alluded to by Willie Anderson.
You know, Terry Donahue has really had a tough time figuring this team out, the chemistry. We've talked to him in the last couple of weeks, and it's surprising. I mean, generally a head coach has a feel for his team, knows how to motivate them to push the right buttons, and Terry Donahue's done a marvelous job of that the last 4 years. But this particular team, he said he began to worry about them even after spring practice last year. He just couldn't push the right buttons. It's a funny chemistry on this team, he says.
Coming up at halftime, we'll have the Prudential College Football Report. Scores of all the games going on around the country today. We'll update you on the top 20 and other Pac-10 encounters taking place out here. That's coming up in 14 seconds. Halftime from the Rose Bowl. Jeff Valder getting ready to kick off, number 19. He's a senior walk-on who is the long-distance field goal kicker for Arizona. And the deep men, again, are Carnell Lake, number 31, and Darrell Henley, number 2. This will be Carnell Lake. Tries to find a seam up the sidelines and does get it out across the 20, but again, a flag is down.
The offense really has to still be a concern to Terry Donahue. There have been 2 games this year where the offense has not scored a touchdown. They have not scored here in the first half, obviously.
And another clipping call against UCLA. Second time that has cost them position outside the 20.
And let's just take a look at the difference in the special teams. The special teams either haven't returned the ball out past the 20-yard line, or when they have, there's been a penalty. On the other hand, Arizona's blocked 2 punts.
Again, our score. Here's the call from James Springer.
Clipping during the return. First down.
Gary Costin with 3 field goals, the first of which was set up by an interception. 35 yards, gave Arizona a 3-0 lead. And then the block punt by Chuck Cecil, recovered by Gropenbacher. Then Mataele tackled Gaston Green in the end zone. Costin has come back with back-to-back field goals, and it's 18-0 now with 8 seconds to go in the first half. That should be the final play of the half. Kevin Singleton makes the tackle of Gaston Green. Halftime, and just before we leave you for a moment, let's take a look back at Larry Smith's team's big play. It was Chuck Cecil's block of Harold Barkate's punt.
And it was the left guard of UCLA who left the floodgates wide open. The punter never had any opportunity, and that resulted in a touchdown by Gropenbacher.
Ball was kicked a couple of times inadvertently and toward Arizona's end zone, and then Gropenbacher, number 24, after that kick, finally fell on it and got the touchdown. That made it a 10-0 game, and then shortly after the second block punt, Mataele's tackle of Gaston Green gave Arizona a 12-0 lead after the safety. That's the end of the first half with the score Arizona 18, UCLA 0. We'll be back with the Prudential College Football Report after this message and a word from your local station.
What do you say? Call it a day. 5 o'clock is here. Now you're talking after work. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times. And Stroh's is spoken here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. Now you're talking beer.
Now you're talking Stroh's. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times. And Stroh's is spoken here.
Zenith's digital TV with teletext has instant news, weather, or sports information built in. So even during important programs, this television always knows the score. Zenith. Quality.
This water damage is going to run $750. What would have stopped it?
Thompson's Water Seal protects wood, brick, and concrete with its special waterproofing formula. Thompson's Water Seal, a great defense against repair expense.
This is CBS.
I tell you, I fly a lot. That's why I look for those mileage clubs, but it don't always pay off. Oh, there was one airline, I told the guy, I got a lot of miles, what can you give me? He offered me a lube job. I told him forget about it. What I'd like is a free trip to another airline. So now I fly Western. I tell you, I went from no class to first class.
No one rewards you like Western Airlines. It's the only way to fly.
No matter what the problem is, the solution's in the GTE Yellow Pages.
To all the people who work hard to keep those great old cars running and looking good, we'd like to help take them that extra mile.
Take it to Midas.
When it's time to buy a muffler, it doesn't have to cost a lot. We'll give you a choice of mufflers, a choice of prices, and a choice of guarantees. All right on the money.
Take it to Midas.
Nice car.
Nice car.
Take it to someone you trust.
Making It in a Man's World, Monday at 7:30.
CBS Sports presents the Prudential College Football Report. Sponsored by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
Jim Nance back in New York, the Prudential College Football Report. Boy, that Arizona team looks good as they're beating the Bruins 18-0 at halftime. Now, let's get you caught up on the scores. First of all, in baseball, in case you missed it, the Mets dramatically beat Houston at a 6-5. Craig Dykstra with a 2-run homer, 1 out in the bottom of the ninth, and the Mets now lead in that best-of-7 series, 2-1. Len Dykstra, of course, hitting that home run for the Mets in that game. Now, top 20 or top 10 in college football. Miami of Florida scored 21 points already in the first quarter. They're beating West Virginia handily, as expected, on the road. Miami looking good early. Some of the other scores: Alabama and Memphis State, third quarter, the Tide leading over the Tigers 20-0. It's a night game. Nebraska going against Oklahoma State. Michigan State and Michigan at halftime. They're just getting ready to start the third quarter, and Michigan leads it by 10. Penn State scored 9 points in the final 3.5 minutes to beat Cincinnati, and the Nittany Lions now 5-0 on the year. Oklahoma with 17 points in the first quarter against Texas in that annual showdown at the Cotton Bowl. Number 7, Auburn, 31-9. In fact, the Tigers scored 2 touchdowns in the first 66 seconds. Here's one of them, Brent Fullwood, who will take it 38 yards. Fullwood, 7 carries, 145 yards. That's 20 yards a carry. And Auburn easy over Vanderbilt today. Arkansas and Texas Tech now at halftime. Arkansas was trailing early, but they tied it with a second quarter touchdown. USC and Washington State scoreless as that game's just underway. Iowa and Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin, the Badgers giving Iowa a much more difficult time than anyone would have thought. Yesterday, the Dallas Morning News reported that Hayden Fry will replace Fred Akers at Texas next season. Fry has denied that report.
You know, that's ridiculous. You got to let some clown down in Texas write an article, and you guys spend all your time on something. I wouldn't give that guy the time of day down there. And Fred Akers trying to get ready for a big ball game with Oklahoma. That's ridiculous.
But all the people around Iowa, I mean, they're just...
Tell them I'm here in Iowa. I'm not going any place.
10-6 Iowa, third quarter over Wisconsin. Now other games involving ranked teams. Texas A&M over Houston. The Aggies winning in Houston for the first time in 12 meetings. They win it by 12. Number 15, Arizona State and Oregon. That game just underway in the West. Georgia Tech with their highest point total since 1957 when they scored 59 against Presbyterian. Here's the big story. Jerry Mays, who threw this touchdown pass and he ran for 3 other scores. And 188 yards rushing on the day for Mays. He's only a sophomore, and an amazing day for him as Tech hands the Wolfpack their first loss of the year. In the East, Maryland and Boston College in a surprise. The Eagles beating the Terrapins 23-7 fourth quarter. They've just started that fourth quarter. Pennsylvania and Brown, a battle of unbeatens in the Ivy League. Penn shutting out Brown in the fourth. In the South, Army and Tennessee. That is now a final as Army has scored in the final minute to now beat Tennessee 25-21. That's a big upset. Army now 3-2 on the year, and the Volunteers fall to 2-3. Kentucky hasn't lost this year. They may today as they trail Mississippi at halftime. Kent State and Florida. Florida pouring it on today for their second win of the year. In the Midwest, Indiana and Ohio State were tied, but the Buckeyes have scored 10 points in a row. Kansas and Iowa State. Kansas with a 10-0 lead. The Jayhawks right now riding a 3-game winning streak. Other scores in the West. Air Force and Navy. Air Force leading by 20 in the fourth quarter. Wyoming and Utah, and Wyoming with a 7-point lead. The Utes are winless this year, and they've given up an average of 49 points a game. New Mexico and UTEP 14-3. The Lobos lead it in the second quarter. And still ahead of us here at halftime, we'll talk with head coach Ted Tollner of unbeaten USC, and we'll update that baseball playoff story. Of course, more scores and highlights as the Prudential College Football Report continues here on CBS with results from around the country.
It's a jungle. That's how it feels when you're searching for life insurance. The natives don't speak your language. You feel lost, in the dark, scared. But there is a sign of civilization. With Prudential, your agent will explain things clearly and work with you until you have a piece of the rock you feel comfortable with. No wonder more people choose Prudential for life insurance than any other company. You'll feel right by the rock. Prudential Life Insurance.
An investment firm is only as impressive as it is responsive.
It's a go.
So when interest rates fell, we looked for new ways for our clients to make money and developed unique opportunities like the Prudential Real Estate Investment Trust, a first of its kind in a way to take advantage of changing markets. While others may imitate it, we're busy surpassing it. If anyone can show you bold new thinking in the business of making money,
let's close it.
It's Prudential Beach, rock solid, market-wise.
Well, the Irish of Notre Dame are off to their worst start since 1962, and they lost it once again on a missed last-second field goal. John Carney this time From 38 yards with 18 seconds to go, he missed it, and Pittsburgh holds on to beat the Irish, and Notre Dame now 1-4 on the year. Purdue and Illinois, a late touchdown there, a 3-yard run by Ray Wilson with 1:05 to go, won it for the Illini against Purdue. Colorado wins their first game of the year. They beat Missouri. More trouble for Weidenhofer. They're now 1-4. In the South, North Carolina outscored Wake Forest, and the Tar Heels, look out for this team. They are now 4-0-1 on the year. Their quarterback, Jonathan Hall, threw 4 touchdowns. Virginia Tech and South Carolina, 27-all tie. Scott Hagler missed a 40-yard field goal for South Carolina with 6 seconds to go. Another heartbreak for the Gamecocks. You remember last week they almost upset Nebraska. In the East, Cornell over Harvard 3-0. And for Harvard, that's the 3rd week in a row now they've been shut out. That's the first time it's ever happened to the Crimson. Once again in baseball, the Mets with a 9th-inning win against the Astros, 6-5. New York now leads in that best-of-7 series 2-1. After the game, Brent Musburger was there to talk with Darryl Strawberry of the Mets.
Darryl Strawberry and Darryl Strawberry Jr., that was a terribly exciting win by the Mets.
Yes, it was a very exciting win. We battled back. We were down 4-0, but we had a lot of confidence, Brett. We felt that we were going to come back in that ball game. And I'm just pleased the way things turned out for us, and it was a big win for us, and we look forward to tomorrow's ball game.
You really can hit left-handed pitchers. 3-run homer off a good one.
Well, you know, Nepper's, he's tough on all left-handers, and it was just a situation I was in, and I was looking for a certain pitch, and I got the pitch, and I did what I had to do with it.
Did you think Dexter's homer was out there?
Oh, yeah, I felt good about it, because when he hit it, I jumped up, and I was screaming. I said, that ball is out of here. And, you know, Lenny, he's not a home run hitter, but if you make a mistake on him, he can take you out the ballpark.
Young man, what'd you think of Daddy's home run? Was it pretty good? It was that exciting, huh? Are the Mets going to win this? Darryl, he's like Steve Carlton.
He don't want to talk to the press right now.
Thanks, Darryl.
All right, Brent.
Okay,
thank you.
All right, 6-5, the Mets win it. They lead it 2-1. And when we come back, we'll talk with a head coach who's restored a former national power to prominence this season. He's Ted Tollner of Southern Cal, and you're watching the Prudential College Football Report here on CBS, where the scores continue from around the country.
Find the holes in your homeowner's insurance before they find you.
Sorry to barge in.
Have a Prudential representative give you a fast, free Pru review of your coverage.
Are we covered? For this? If you had a Pru review, you'd know.
Get a Pru review from the Prudential and get a piece of the rock.
Don't look like Bermuda to me.
Powerful new financial help is coming. The Rock, the Prudential, is now more than insurance. It's mutual funds, home mortgages, IRAs, stocks and bonds, new products and new ideas. It's rock-solid financial help for us all. The Rock, the Prudential. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
As we approach the midway point of the season, one of the big surprises has been Southern Cal. They're in the top 10, they're unbeaten, and their coach in his 4th season is Ted Tollner, who finally appears to have silenced his critics out there in Los Angeles. Coach Tollner, welcome to the Prudential College Football Report.
Thank you, Jim. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of pressure involved with that USC job. But a lot of people don't realize you've won more conference games in your tenure than any other Pac-10 coach, but you still come under fire. Do you think that's fair?
I really do, Jim. You know, USC has great expectations, and we have very high goals. And I think when you do, there's some risk involved. We have not accomplished everything we want to accomplish here, and so you're going to be involved in some criticism. That's just part of it.
Coach, there was also inside criticism, a well-documented run-in with the athletic director. How did that affect your team? Has it affected your team at all in the way you've coached?
No, we're trying to win football games, and everything we do is with that focus in mind. And our players are fired up and ready to play. We're very excited about where we are right now, and that's all that we care about.
How about this team? I know it's one of the youngest teams you've ever had. Do you think that might creep up and hurt you at the end of the season down the stretch?
Well, we're going to find out. You always get concerned when you have so many young people that are touching the football. Rodney Peete is a very mature sophomore quarterback, but he's a sophomore. We're going to start Aaron Emanuel at tailback, and he's a sophomore. You know, so you get concerned. We have a all freshman and sophomore defensive line, and you get concerned, but they're a very eager group, and we do have some maturity at some of our older guys. So I think the mesh, if we can continue to develop, give us a chance to really make a run for the Roses.
You, an ex-quarterback yourself, you tutored Jim McMahon at BYU. Just how good is this Rodney Peete as a sophomore?
Well, he's exciting, Jim. He has tremendous poise. You know, when we were down at Baylor, he went a streak of 3 for 16, and a young sophomore on the road can just come apart. But when he had to make some plays in the last 2 drives, he went 7 for 9, and we win that game down there on the road in a rainstorm, and then he had a great game against Washington, and last week against Oregon he had a fine game. He has tremendous potential because of his poise, his passing ability, and most of all his ability to run the football. He really stretches the field and opens up all phases of our offense.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you the rest of this season out there at USC.
Thank you much, Jim.
Ted Toler, the coach of the Trojans. They're 4-0, and we'll continue with second half action coming up. This is the Prudential College Football Report on CBS.
The Prudential College Football Report has been sponsored by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the Rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
The Pac-10, the Conference of Champions. And now it's time for new champions. This is the inaugural year of conference-wide women's competition, a new era in the Pacific 10 Conference. You'll see more than 1,000 competitive events in 10 exciting sports, with many of the nation's top female collegiate athletes, winners of 17 recent NCAA team titles and more than 75 NCAA individual championships. It's time to win and time for champions. The Pac-10 women's programs off to a great start.
Big parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell, what kind of motor oil are you using?
Motor oil is motor oil.
Motor oil definitely is not motor oil. A 4-cylinder engine works harder and needs the extra protection of specially formulated Valvoline 4-guard.
Not much of a parade this year.
It's the economy.
Oh, Russell.
In the Army, we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
Canon's new personal copiers come in 4 colors and copy in 5.
Red's your color.
And this replaceable cartridge makes them simple, even for you.
Lighten up, Jack.
They are light. Here.
What a guy.
For information, call toll-free 1-800-OK-Canon.
Pure, natural glass protects the taste of the drinks inside. Choose just the right size in single-service containers or big reusable bottles, knowing that the good things that come in recyclable glass come just as their maker intended. Brought to you by the people who make glass containers naturally.
This is CBS.
After panning for weeks in a river of gold, the miners were filled with mistrust. And then one morning, Wells Fargo arrived with an agent to weigh their dust. They crowded around as the scales were set. Each miner was honestly paid. Wells Fargo came through to protect their gold, and they're still coming through today.
Wells Fargo Bank, still coming through today.
There's a brand new spirit.
What's going on? A new gasoline, Dan.
Spirit. It's a powerful new spirit.
Well, I'll be.
76 has premium unleaded.
New Super 76.
The spirit of Super 76. It's a brand new spirit.
High octane, huh?
None higher. The spirit of 76. Super spirit. The spirit of 76.
Come and get it.
Early Morning Business Report, weekdays 6:30 a.m.
CBS Sports presents college football, sponsored by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. Michelob Light, super premium taste and less filling beer. And by the people of Rockwell International, where science gets down to business. We're back at halftime in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, where the UCLA band is just concluding their halftime presentation. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Pat Hayden, and an 18-0 Arizona lead at this point. I don't know that I'm shocked, but I'm a little surprised, Pat.
Well, I'm really surprised how well Arizona's playing pass defense, because UCLA really felt that they could throw the ball, they could be successful there on first down, but the pass defense has really held up well for Arizona.
And in contrast, UCLA simply has not been able to move the ball offensively.
They really haven't. They tried to throw the ball. They came up with that early interceptions, which I think kind of shocked Matt Stevens. It's tough as a quarterback to recover when one of your early passes is intercepted like that. And Terry Donahue said they cannot run against Arizona. He said it 4 times, and he's right.
Well, they came into the game, Arizona that is, with a reputation well-deserved, it turned out, for excellence in the kicking games. And boy, did it pay big dividends for them in the first half.
Well, you know, the kicking game always starts with the head coach, and Larry Smith spends an awful lot of time. Chuck Cecil, number 6, who told us last night with a little smile on his face that he was going to block a punt today. Remember, they've blocked 22 since '82. Now, the left guard for UCLA should have stepped out and got in Cecil's way, and that ball would have been gotten away, but it was easily blocked by Cecil. Then it was batted around a little bit. Now, these are inadvertent kicks. You cannot intentionally kick a ball and advance it into the end zone, but those are inadvertent kicks, and that's why it was a touchdown.
Well, that was the first, and then there was a second on the next punt.
Again, from right up in the middle, Boomer, and then Gibson, and then Martin Rudolph, number 27, right there, hits it low. The ball is popped up. Now, Barkay, the punter, this guy has to be shocked at this point. But again, tremendous emphasis on that, and that put them in position for another score.
Well, as a result, they went up 12-0 after the field goal there, and then they got the safety from Stan Mataele. The ground game, though, I think in terms of Arizona's offensive perspective, has really suddenly come on with a rush. You look back at the last 4 years, they haven't done that well on the ground.
Well, against the Big Four, we're talking about UCLA and USC and Washington and Arizona State. Now, today they have 104 yards against a very good, I think, UCLA defensive front. But this has been the real difference in this Arizona team this year. In the years past, they've played great defense, played great special teams, but all they've done is throw the ball. But now they can have balance. They can run the ball, and David Adams, number 2, has been the key today. 75 yards in the first half. Even though he's small, we've talked about his strength. He's got good vision. He picks his way through the hole. See how he breaks through tackles there? He just kind of lunges through a couple guys. There's 2 pretty good hits on him, yet he still gains a couple of extra yards out of it.
And as a result, Arizona's on top 18-0 as we get set for the second half of play. Both teams have reappeared back on the floor of the Rose Bowl. It was a 12-0 score at the end of the first quarter. Gary Costin has kicked 2 field goals. UCLA, by the way, has the longest scoring streak in NCAA football. They have scored in 171 consecutive games. Last time they were shut out was 1971 when Pepper Rogers was the coach here, 38-0 by Michigan.
And coincidentally, Arizona has the second longest scoring streak.
Well, their streak will be extended for sure. We don't know what's going to happen now with Terry Donahue's bunch. Wes Denton will kick off to open the second half. Number 28 kicks it deep to Derek Hill and Art Greathouse in the deep man. Here's the special teams at work again. Out to the 43-yard line. And James Washington makes the tackle.
And they set the tone and set the pace again, giving their offense remarkably good field position. Take a look at Derek Hill. He's gonna pop right through a crowd. Derek Hill is. There's a little confusion early on when he's trying to field the ball, but he's gonna pop right through here in the crowd. And he breaks terrific speed, and we talked about how smooth he is as a runner. I really like the way he can move around after he touches the ball. We've seen him catching a couple passes and here returning the kick.
First down.
Washington saves it.
Excuse me, Pat. First down from the 42. Arizona has the ball to open the second half. Adams. Well, when it was a 15-0 score, we thought that UCLA was in need of a defensive turnover to get back. They got that, but couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, and right now, here's what's happened is we started the third quarter, and I think the first series is really critical in each half. The first series, Arizona starts in very good field position. The UCLA defense has to bow its neck once again, force them to punt, perhaps maybe that fumble to give their offense a chance.
2nd down and 8. Branch McNeil is in for one of the first times at wide receiver. Up to the left, Jenkins looks his way, gets a good block, fires the ball, and it is caught. Branch McNeil's first catch of his career at Arizona, sophomore from Carlsbad, California.
And a fine catch it was, because this was pretty good defense by the coverage men of UCLA. There was not a whole lot of room for McNeil to catch this ball. And give Jenkins some credit. There's this little sliver of light there. The defender, Henley, tried to knock the ball down, which, again, he's trying to come up with a big defensive play. Went for the knockdown, missed. McNeil picked up the first down.
First down at the 44-yard line. Jenkins will throw on first down. Looks back left to his running back. Adams bobbles it and drops it. And, oh, did he have an acre.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
And then a penalty flag just went down. You know, it's interesting to watch Arizona here, though. They clearly are not going to sit on their lead. It's a holding call against Arizona. Some teams, I think, I see them get themselves in so much trouble when they get in the lead and they try to sit on it. But here we've seen Arizona come right back out, be aggressive offensively, and throwing the ball. They've had some guys wide open. I like to see that.
Here's the mark off of the penalty. And James Springer. Oops, 5 yards too many.
Too much real estate there.
That's holding, as Pat said. On the previous play, the catch by McNeil, Alfred Jenkins became Arizona's #2 all-time passer, 5,091 yards. Tom Tunnicliffe, of course, is the #1 man. McNeil and Chris McLemore back in on first down and 20 from the 46. 18-0, Arizona leads. That play never got unraveled, did it?
And a
Another
flag
flag down.
Alfred Jenkins almost got his hand broken in there. Got stuck, couldn't get rid of it. A holding call. Now, this is, again, the kind of thing that UCLA needs to have a spark. They've had a holding penalty early on. Second big penalty against the Arizona offense.
It's Craig Rutledge up looking over at the bench for instructions.
Take it.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd need to wait on that decision.
Got to back that one up.
Another 10 yards.
Well, UCLA can be in a situation here, too, where they can, again, force a punt, which they have not really had a chance to do. Force too many Arizona punts yet today. Force a punt and give their offense a chance to get back, get themselves in a position to score a touchdown. Again, field goals do them no good at this point.
Derek Hill brought the play in from the Arizona bench. It's first down and 30 with 13:40 to go, third quarter. And they run the draw play. Adams doesn't get much this time. So that'll bring up a second down at about 29, which sometimes limits your options, Pat.
Second and 29. I specialized in that. The old second and 29.
That's when the head coach hollers up in the booth and says, what play do we got?
He says, you're on your own.
Yeah.
They turn your back to you.
Easy to call those 3rd and 2s. Terry Donahue looking on. Really concerned because he can't get a hold of what kind of team he's got. Has said that over and over to us the last couple of weeks. Jenkins back. And the half roll. Now goes deep. Bopped up, caught, intercepted. James Washington laterals the ball. And Darrell Henley has it. It was Henley. Just caught it midair.
Well, Terry Donahue could not ask any more of his defense, Vern. And James Washington in the first half came up with a near interception. This time he did. Boy, just what the doctor ordered.
Henley goes in for the score. A total of 54 yards. David Craney on to try the extra point. Well, at least the scoring streak has been extended to 172 games. And let's look at it again.
James Washington, who really played very well in the first half, is going to come up with a big interception here. Alfred Jenkins throws this ball into a crowd. It's a design play where he gets out of the pocket, but overthrows the receiver. The ball gets popped up by Washington. Then he catches. Now he's going to take a hit right there. The ball comes loose, and there's opportunistic Henley, number 2, who runs the ball down the sideline. I'll tell you, I've really been impressed with the way this UCLA defense has been coordinated. They've really been around the receivers today.
Right position, great speed, touchdown UCLA.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh yeah.
It's the rhythm on the road. It's the pulse on the street.
Pulse on the street.
City and town, a magic sound. Feel the heartbeat of America.
Chevrolet.
That's today, Chevrolet.
Ooh, the heartbeat of America. Chevrolet.
That's today's Chevrolet.
Tomorrow, the firepower of Washington's Jay Schrader, the horsepower of Dallas's Herschel Walker. It all starts with the NFL Today on CBS Sports.
Moments ago, after Darrell Henley had strolled through the Arizona end zone, he went to the bench. Take that, Carl Durrell. And take that, Matt Stevens. UCLA on the boards. And there's the man who got them there, Darrell Henley, alertly recovering the ball in midair after Washington was popped. Wes Denton's kick. And a nice tackle made on Derek Hill, and UCLA is showing a little emotion, Pat.
Well, college football is so much a game of momentum. We've seen a great defensive play by the UCLA defense, and then their special teams come out and did a job here and stopped the Arizona return team, which has been so effective today. You can see the emotion as just what they needed at this point in the game. And Arizona, on the other hand, may have really let UCLA back in the game with some sloppy play on their first series. A couple of penalties got themselves in trouble when they had very good field position to start the third quarter.
Now, timeout has been taken by James Springer, the referee, for an injury. Derek Hill is limping out, and already we've got an injury report from the bench at Arizona. Jeff Fairholm, a separated shoulder and probably will not be back for the remainder of the game. Danny Lockett is suffering from fatigue. Rich Gropenbacher, who scored the first touchdown, tore a knee ligament and is out for the year on his right knee. That happened on one of the special teams plays. And look at Arizona plunge right back. Joe Pryor, the fullback.
Well, when you defend Arizona, there's so much you have to worry about. We've seen Jenkins scramble out of the pocket, roll out. We've seen option plays. We've seen power football. And now we see Joe Pryor, the fullback, up the middle. There's only so many things you can stop.
You know, what strikes me, Pat, is that those who remember last year's game must be thinking a sense of deja vu in reverse. Then UCLA jumped off to a 17-0 lead. And Arizona came back only to lose it 24-19. Here, Arizona had the 18-0 halftime lead.
In the Arizona offense, as you see the measurement of just a pinch short, the Arizona offense can put this crowd to rest here by just picking up a couple of first downs. No, they did give them the first down. Picking up a couple first downs, getting the momentum back in their hands, dominating the line of scrimmage like they did the first half. But it was penalties on their first series, which really was the difference.
When they came out, they got the first down on the play to McNeil, and then back-to-back holding calls just prior to the interception by Washington and the fumble return by Henley. First down, 10, 12:07 to go, third quarter. David Adams is shellacked. Frank Batchkoff, number 92, the left defensive end, senior out of Reseda, California.
You know, we talked last week about adjustments, what coaches do at halftime. Tom Hayes and Bob Fields, the defensive coordinators for UCLA, have made the change to try to get their people in gaps. They're going to make some slants. Watch 92, Batchkoff, lower left of your screen. He shoots right in there. The offensive tackle, Denton, took a back step, opened the gates for Batchkoff to get in to make the play. That's good defensive adjustments at halftime.
2nd down and 12. 18-7, Arizona on top.
I think Alfred Jenkins called the timeout there.
I didn't see a delay call. Yep, he did.
Arizona! Again, another sign that things are not working right for Arizona.
So the Wildcats call timeout. Jenkins will talk to Larry Smith, try and settle his team down. They lead 18-7.
Manage. To handle or direct with skill. Rockwell International Management stimulates the work of its 120,000 employees, 1 in 6 a scientist or engineer. Their elegant solutions to customer needs make Rockwell a world leader. Rockwell International. Managing high technology for global markets.
Who says you can't have 100% imported hops and a less filling beer? Old world aging and a less filling beer. Smooth super premium taste and a less filling beer. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
These are the hands of Mr. Goodwrench. Hands that work. Hands with the know-how to fix things. Hands that are strong and sure. Hands that are gentle, accurate. Hands that can almost see where the trouble is and how to make it right again. Hands of skill. Hands that care. The working hands of Mr. Goodwrench. And no one knows your GM car better. No one.
Arizona Wildcats facing a 2nd down and 12 after they used the timeout. They have 2 remaining. Alfred Jenkins breaks the huddle, brings his team up. Crowd of better than 50,000 gathered here at the Rose Bowl. Quiet for the most part in the first half. Aroused now. Fake at the draw. Batted down. Carnell Lake, number 31. And Greg Bolin in the area.
Well, Carnell Lake is just a sophomore. He's 6 feet, 202 pounds, but he's got 4'6" feet as an outside linebacker. Actually returns kicks. Here you're going to see Jenkins. Now Jenkins is delicately trying to throw this ball over Carnell Lake, and he takes a little bit too much off it. You're going to see Lake jump up and swat the ball down there with his left hand. And just try to feather it in there too much. I think sometimes it's very difficult when a quarterback has a receiver wide open. They try to do too much.
3rd down and 12. Alfred Jenkins is 5 of 15. And they'll run the draw again. They've done it on 3rd and long periodically, but this time with no success. Again, the UCLA defense has done its job. They'll turn it back over to what has thus far been an inept offensive effort.
And now it is up to the offense. They have to step to the forefront now. The defense has done everything that could possibly be asked of them. They have to take some charge, and somebody's going to have to make a big play offensively.
Rodriguez is back to punt, 3rd time today. Darrell Henley, who scored the UCLA touchdown a moment ago, is back to return it. Poor kick, very high, but not terribly deep. And again, the special teams of Arizona shine. Jerry Beasley, the linebacker, made the tackle. 18-7, Arizona leads.
Oh my goodness! goodness, he caught the ball at the touchdown!
The following message is about life.
Bob, right off his head!
The life you don't get in an ordinary battery. And the life you do get in new Kodak Super Life alkaline batteries. They last much longer than ordinary batteries. And only Super Life has a real gold tip to ensure the best contact.
Oh, yeah! Let's see it again on the replay.
Now, do you settle for the ordinary or go for the gold?
Today's Equitable has new life insurance ideas that can provide money for a secure and comfortable retirement. Today's Equitable, your key to financial opportunity. We have new kinds of insurance that do more than just protect your family. They can help you earn the money for your new home. Today's Equitable, your key to financial opportunity. Our new insurance ideas can do a lot for you. Talk to us. Your key to financial opportunity.
On the NFL today, they're both bruised and battered, but they better be ready. A look at the Redskins and the Cowboys, one of football's great rivalries, tomorrow on CBS Sports.
That's coming up tomorrow. 10-18 remaining third quarter in this one. Arizona on top 18-7. And now Matt Stevens, the senior quarterback, back in the cockpit. His team has not moved the ball with the exception of one drive late in the second quarter. Terry Donahue looks on. 1st and 10, UCLA. See if they pass again on first down. No, sir. Draw play. And not for much. Gaston Green, number 44, tackled by Brent Wood, number 35.
Arizona's coaches do a great job of telling their guys and forcing their defensive players to fight off blocks. A lot of coaches talk about that, but again, it's one of those things they spend an awful lot of time on, fighting off blocks, getting to the football. Before the game, they had this drill where the defensive coach just runs over to the side of the field and all 11 defenders just chase him and surround him and jump up and down. It's an amazingly aggressive defense.
2nd down and 7, 18-7, Arizona leads, and Stevens with a straight drop back. Into the flat. That's a 1-on-2 circumstance. And a pretty good move by Mel Farr to escape the first hit. And then he got tackled by the second. Brent Wood made the stop.
Boy, Mel Farr made a nice play just to pick up a yard or two there. Yeah, you can see some athleticism here by Mel Farr. Offensive line here this time giving Stevens an opportunity to look downfield first. Nothing there. Then he drops the ball over to Mel Farr. Watch him just kind of slip a couple of guys. You don't think many fullbacks can do that, but Farr can.
Quickly, here goes Matt Stevens rolling left. Finds a man. That, I think, was a very key play in this half. They had 3rd and 7. Durrell makes the catch, hangs on first down. If they don't get the first down there, all of that enthusiasm they build up just evaporates.
You're absolutely right. And it seems to be that Matt Stevens seems to be a little bit more comfortable when he is rolling out and throwing the ball on the run, Vern. We've seen him not be nearly as successful dropping back, but this time he gets to the corner because he's a pretty good runner. But he's got the wide open Durrell there for an easy first down. But I think he just feels more relaxed on the corner of the defense.
So UCLA tries to build now on the emotion of their defensive unit. They've gotten the first down of this drive. Ball at the 48-yard line. Here comes a reverse. And trouble. Not yet. Almost got back to the line of scrimmage. Willie Anderson tackled by James DeVoe. Oklahoma plowing under Texas. Auburn won. Texas Tech leading Arkansas. The Razorbacks are undefeated. And Washington State leads Southern Cal.
Washington State has one of those kinds of offenses that can really give you some trouble. A lot of option.
Iowa set up its showdown against Michigan next week by winning today. 2nd down, 11 from the 49-yard line. 18-7, Arizona leads UCLA. 4-man rush. Stevens, pretty good protection across the middle. It'll be another 3rd and long. Mel Farr makes the grab and Byron Evans makes the hit.
You know, that looked like it was going to be a real positive play for UCLA. It looks like the defense was dropped off and he was going to dump the ball off to Mel Farr. He was going to catch it and run for 8 yards. But again, they react so well.
And again, Pat, they're faced with the same circumstance they had a minute ago. 3rd and long, which is not envious.
The last time Matt Stevens rolled out and picked up the first down on the pass to Durrell.
3rd and 9, 8:20 to go. Third quarter, 18-7. Arizona leads UCLA. Boomer Gibson dancing around. See if he's coming. He is. Play fake, good protection, but it breaks down. Stevens can't find anybody open, and UCLA will have to punt.
You know, the pocket is breaking down for UCLA, and Matt Stevens is not a tall quarterback. I think he feels an awful lot of pressure around him. He cannot find his receivers because there's too much penetration by the defense. Now watch, he tries to step up in the pocket, but there's too many defensive men that are giving him some pressure. Right there's two guys, two more coming up in the middle, nowhere to go. They need to roll him out more.
And in the meantime, here is the punt taken by Derek Hill at the 4. Out of bounds, special teams for UCLA take the spotlight. Randy Beverly downfield to make the tackle. Arizona's got the ball back, but deep in their own end of the field.
Who says you can't have old world taste and a new world waste? Old world aging and the new world's youthful spirit. Europe's finest hops in America's finest light beer. Michelob Light, old world quality from Anheuser-Busch. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can have it all.
Entrepreneur, one who assumes the risks of business. Rockwell International managers have the entrepreneurial freedom to move through the maze of business challenges. With advanced technologies and innovative quality products, Rockwell International entrepreneurs get results.
Tonight, a long-lost love returns.
When you walked out, my life stopped.
A surprising reunion that takes place in The Twilight Zone, tonight on CBS.
7:38 remaining third quarter, Arizona against UCLA. One of the legends of our business is working up on the roof of the Rose Bowl, Ray Scott. And up there with him is John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Vern. It is a very famous voice here at the Rose Bowl today, a man who has done 4 Super Bowls. He's in semi-retirement now, but still doing cats on radio. Let's take a listen.
Referee James Springer says the ball is ready for play. Wildcats pinned back at their own 7 at the left hash mark. Adams is the tailback. Pryor is the fullback. I formation. 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, and there goes the fullback up the middle, but no more than a yard or so. It's going to be second and long. There was a situation where the offense...
Ray Scott, who can forget him? The voice of the Green Bay Packers. Star to dollar, touchdown, Green Bay. Vern?
I wish I could do it that well.
Well, I heard a lot of those. I was a great Green Bay fan as a kid and listened to an awful lot of Ray Scott.
Well, plus he's a fine gentleman. He and his wife living in Tucson now. Second year he's been working for Arizona. Second down and 9 here with 7:05 remaining in the third quarter. Adams going left. Knocked out of bounds. Now let's go to Jim Nance in our New York studios for this update.
All right, Vern. Pat, imagine if you could have thrown the long ball like this. Jimmy Harbaugh, the senior for Michigan, 42 yards to John Colasar. Look at the grab. Touchdown, and it's 20-3 Michigan third quarter. Let's go back to Vern and Pat.
Okay, your turn.
All right, Jimmy Nance, no fair picking on me, so I couldn't throw the long ball, but I sure handed off well, didn't I? A lot of horses behind me.
3rd and 5, 6:55 to go, third quarter. Adams searching. Adams not finding.
There's a fumble there.
Fumble?
There was.
Arizona got it back.
He definitely fumbled. I want to tell you, there's so much more enthusiasm and emotion. It plays so much more in college football than it does in pros. And there's been a terrific momentum shift here to the UCLA Bruins. Adams, the ball, he's carrying the ball in the wrong arm. He's carrying the ball in his right arm. And when he's running left to the outside, he should have the ball in his left hand, and that wouldn't have happened.
That brings up a 4th down and 9, but I'm beginning to wonder how much you can ask of your defensive unit without the offense moving the ball, and they just have not done so. That is UCLA.
Or perhaps try to block a punt.
Well, let's see if they have that in mind as Rodriguez is back 7 yards deep in the end zone. No, the return is on. Short kick. Fumble. Arizona's ball. And guess who? Chuck Cecil.
I'll tell you, the low kick, the low punt by Rodriguez, I think surprised both return men. Mike Farr, number 9, tried it. It's a real low punt. Now, Rodriguez is normally a very high punter, and Henley's normally the guy that's going to field the punt. But Mike Farr comes running over. There's confusion between the two of them. The back guy's got to call the one off. The ball pops loose there, and Arizona recovers. That's, again, a terrible, terrible play for the Bruins.
And a first down out at the 41. Arizona's ball with 6:38 to go, third quarter. Art Greathouse, number 40, and again a defensive surge. Goes back to what Larry Smith told us. The punt is the most important play in football.
It's the only play in football where you can gain 40 yards. But here's Henley. He's trying to wave off Mike Farr, but the ball was so low that Farr, who's the short man, felt that he should take it. So they both got a little piece of it, but Chuck Cecil got most of it.
Second down and 8. Third UCLA turnover, 2 for Arizona. 6:05 to go, third quarter. 18-7, Arizona leads. No problem with the snap then. Jenkins keeps. Fumble again. UCLA gets it this time. It's become bobble ball in the Rose Bowl.
Arizona is trying to let UCLA get right back in this ball game, I guarantee you. And Mike Farr feels a lot better right about now, I guarantee as well. Option play by Alfred Jenkins. Now he's going to take the ball, step away from the center, let things develop kind of slowly, but he's holding the ball rather loosely. The ball goes up, gets popped from the backside, and the UCLA Bruins make the recovery. Jenkins is going to have to secure the ball. You can't let UCLA or can't let any team get back in the ball game when you're dominating like Arizona has.
Ball at the 48. It's 5:54 to go, third quarter, and Stevens will throw on first down. Maybe. Sam Mataele again.
Mataele again is the momentum crusher for Arizona.
And that is all the way back to the 42-yard line, second down and 20. UCLA unable to take advantage of field position and emotion provided by the defensive unit thus far. Stevens will try and hit the 60-yard pass. Has a man with a half a stride, and the ball is overthrown by 5. Paco Craig, and a flag is down.
That's right around the holding area of the field. So Matt Stevens, although he overthrew him, can throw that ball. He's got a strong arm. He let that one, and it is holding. Let that one go. Paco Craig did have his man beaten as well.
That'll be a holding call that sends him back again.
Again, the opportunity. The defense puts the offense in a position.
Third down.
And once again, the offense seemingly not being able to capitalize on great defensive play.
Terry Donahue, 2 days ago in his office, said 3 problems on offense. Offensive line hasn't worked well. Matt Stevens has not been hot. Running backs have been hurt. I don't know that he's found the answer to any of those problems today. Stevens, right side, incomplete, and Harold Barkate will have to come on and punt. That was intended for the tight end, Derek Tennell.
UCLA is missing by a yard or 2, and again, that is the difference. If that ball is thrown inside maybe a yard, Tennell has an opportunity to catch the ball.
Barkate, 4 punts for a 39.8 average. That's discounting the 2 that have been blocked. And here comes the rush again. Hill at the 7. Nailed up high at the 16. And Arizona gets the ball back. Of course, this is one of the key matchups in the Pac-10 today. Elsewhere, Washington State still leading early over Southern California and Pullman. Arizona State having a tussle with Oregon.
Chris Miller, the quarterback up there, a fine quarterback for Oregon.
California leading Oregon State in the second quarter, and later today, Washington at Stanford. Coming into today's play, Southern Cal on top, Arizona State a half game back. Arizona really a half game back as well, along with Stanford, and then UCLA in an unfamiliar position. First down and 10, Arizona. Art Greathouse tackled by Frank Batchkoff.
Well, you know, Vern, if the offense is not going to do it for UCLA and the defense has done their job, it's going to have to come from the special team. So I would like, you have to think that they have to begin to think about trying to block a punt. They blocked a punt last week against Arizona State. Randy Beverly did. And the offense really has not been able to take advantage of some great field position here in the second half.
And time is winding down in the third quarter. 4:20 remaining right now. Wonder how long that adrenaline defensively will keep flowing. Second down and 10. Greathouse out near the 25, a yard short of the first down. Eric Smith, number 98, made the tackle.
Well, Greathouse, a freshman, had 97 yards 2 weeks ago against Colorado. Boy, he gets up a good head of steam here. They get him deep in the I formation. He's just a straight-ahead runner, but what allowed him to do that, he was 7 yards deep, and by the time he got to the line of scrimmage, he had a very much a full head of steam.
There's that big Arizona offensive line. And a third down and 2. Greathouse is stopped. Doug Klein, number 48, the linebacker. Sophomore from Arvada, Colorado, made the tackle.
Now here's the situation again where I say UCLA may have to consider blocking a punt because their offense has not done it.
They haven't tried yet either, really, have they?
That's exactly right. They really haven't brought 10 men.
And Rodriguez has not been terribly effective today, though he's got a great average. So again, the defensive unit of the Bruins holds. Arizona's offense seems to have lost some spark.
Bruins played good short yardage defense a week ago as well. You're going to see a good line surge by good penetration. See 2 or 3 Bruin jerseys in the line of scrimmage, and that allowed the linebackers really to make the play. Good play by the down man.
Here is Rodriguez. And here come the Bruins. Don't quite get there, but they came with 9 men. Henley makes the fair catch call at the 44-yard line.
Boy, he made that catch under some duress, too, again from one of his own players.
At the conclusion of today's CBS Sports College Football broadcast, Pat and I will be participating in a 16-year tradition, selecting a Chevy Most Valuable Player of the game from each of the teams. Chevrolet donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. 2:35 to go third quarter. Vern Lundquist, Pat Hayden, John Dockery. Matt Stevens, the quarterback, sends one man into the pattern on the rollout and is successful. Carl Durrell.
Arizona's been so successful rushing the passer this entire season, and today it's one way to try to avoid the big rush by Arizona is get Matt Stevens on the corner. We've seen him complete 2 passes now, 2 out routes when he's gotten to the corner. And this was part of UCLA's game plan, was to work to the wide side of the field against Rudolph, the defensive back, number 27 there, to pick up easy first downs on out routes.
See the stats on Stevens for the day. A second down, officially 1 yard. UCLA across midfield where they have spent most of this quarter. And the ball is at the 43. That should be enough to move the chain. Stevens seems to have settled down a little bit in this half.
Again, I think the key that we've just talked about is him getting on the corner of the defense. I think he just felt a little bit too much pressure because Matele and Lockett and those guys have really been all over his jersey all day long. One thing about getting to the corner of the defense, it cuts down the defensive rush.
First and 10, UCLA. 1:39 to go. Throwing on first down, Stevens. Carl Durrell at the 30, another UCLA first down. Brent Wood made the tackle. And that time he put it on the clothesline.
And you have to give Matt Stevens some credit because he's a mentally tough young man. He's had some duress this year against Oklahoma. He's had some duress even here today. But he's still fighting hard. That's what college football is about, trying to fight and give your team a chance to win. He drills the ball into Carl Durrell, and I'll tell you what, I like his stamina, Matt Stevens, the way he's hanging in there.
Another of the series of fifth-year quarterbacks. Here's Stevens throwing on first down again. Short man. James Primus, the tailback. Bruins showing as much life now on this drive as they did once before at the end of the first half.
Remember, they opened the game with some short passes to the backs, and now they're doing it again because they've been able to get the ball downfield to the wide receivers. We just saw Durrell catch one. Now the linebackers have to drop a little bit deeper, and then you drop the ball off to a back.
We're in the final minute of the third quarter, and the entirety of this period has been played within a 50-yard area. Second down and 3, UCLA trailing 18-7. They'll try and run without much success. It'll be 3rd and 2. Byron Evans, number 48, makes the tackle on James Primus.
Okay, this is 3rd and 2. They have been running the wishbone this weekend, last weekend. Here comes McCracken in to run it. They have 2 chances here because really they have to score a touchdown. So you're going to see 2 chances at a first down, I believe.
There's McCracken, as Pat just said. Wishbone formation. They tried the first option, and I don't think they made it.
Well, I want to tell you what, though. McCracken was open on the outside.
Was he ever? If he pulls the ball back, he's around the corner for 15.
Again, I believe if they did not make it, they definitely have to go for it.
Ball is spotted about a yard short of first down. The quarter has ended. It'll be 4th down when we return. So Terry Donahue will have a minute or 2 to consider his options. We'll return to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California after this message and a word from your local station.
Hello, I'm Leona, your automatic teller. Can I help you with a student loan?
No, a car loan, Leona. Fast forward.
Home improvement loan.
It's a General Motors car. Don't get hassled when you finance a new car or truck. Get GMAC financing only at your GM dealer. Is there someone live I could talk with around
Do we
here?
have one of our calendars? This is a farm calendar. We also have what they call a print calendar. If I can only find it.
You might be able to make it on your old antifreeze another year, but then again, you just might find yourself left out in the cold. Driving just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze can cause freeze-up and make a radiator look this bad, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. So, for maximum protection, don't push your luck. Change it once a year, every year, with fresh Prestone.
This is CBS.
Hello. I guess you know I find you extremely attractive.
Hey, thank you very much. It's time to change your light bulb. Philips Longer Life Square bulbs last 33% longer than ordinary round bulbs.
In an attempt to raise your interest, automakers have lowered their interest rates. But before you get too tempted by these numbers, there's one other percentage you should consider. 92% of all Subarus registered since 1975 are still on the road. So why buy a car that seems inexpensive this month when you can visit your Subaru dealer and buy one that's inexpensive and built to stay that way?
The Rock and Roll Evening News tonight at 5.
Danny Lockett, who may be the best athlete on this Arizona defensive team, has missed most of this half because of fatigue. He was just reinserted into the ball game for this 4th down play to begin the 4th quarter. Now he's in. There's one of the schemes that Larry Smith is using. And on the UCLA perspective, Pat Hayden, Matt Stevens is back in on the 4th and 1.
Which is a little bit unusual because they wanted to use McCracken on short yardage situations where they use the wishbone. So maybe UCLA in this particular short yardage is not going to go the wishbone.
There is Stevens, 4th down and 1. Think they might pass it?
They're in a passing formation with split backs.
Play fake. Stevens has a man open. James Primus, number 23, first down, UCLA.
It's actually Mel Farr. That's right. The fullback came out of the backfield. Terrific call by UCLA and great play action fake by Matt Stevens. And watch how calm he is in the pocket because he is going to get a pretty good rush there by Brent Wood. throws it off his back foot, but he is wide open, Nel Fares, and that is a terrific call, and again, keeps the momentum going for UCLA.
It was Farr instead of Primus. He stays in on first down. Play fake again. Stevens' off-balance throw is incomplete. Did a wise thing. Just got rid of it.
Avoided the sack.
Let's recap how the scoring has gone thus far. Costin opened with a field goal, 35 yards. Then Cecil blocked a punt, recovered by Gropenbacher for a touchdown, 10-0 Arizona. Mataele tackled Gaston Green for a safety, 12-0. Costin then kicked back-to-back field goals to make it 18-0 at the half. And Darrell Henley returned a fumble after an interception to make it 18-7.
Arizona has not given up a point in the fourth quarter of this season.
Stevens may be changing the play, shifts his back into the eye. And they try the plunge over left guard. Mel Farr for not much.
Okay, to tie up this ball game, they're going to need a field goal and a touchdown and a two-point conversion. 3rd and 8, obviously you'd rather have the touchdown and a two-point conversion first. But the important thing here is on 3rd and about, 9, is to not turn the ball over.
How about in terms of where you look? You like the tight end, maybe?
Inside the 20, they've liked to use Derek Tennell.
Number 81. 3rd and 9. Looks in the flat, fires into double coverage. Tennell can't hang on. And slides into the padding. There's the tight end, Derek Tennell.
Well, we're in a little out and up pattern. They wanted to go to him all the way, but he was not well covered. That's a situation that Stevens, if you have more time, you can come to a secondary receiver, but Stevens was under duress. Here he fakes the out pattern, and then he's going to turn up. But Boomer Gibson, who's a linebacker, is making the coverage, and then 27, Martin Rudolph, tips the ball. I'll tell you, Rudolph has really played well today, and he's the man they thought they could pick on.
Franey is on to try the field goal. First points to be given up by Arizona in this quarter this year. From 29 yards out, it's good.
Well, they almost blocked that one.
Franey connects, and UCLA is within 8. It's 18-10 Arizona.
Balance. It is stability based on planned diversity. Rockwell International's continuous growth results from a balance of businesses. Outstanding performance in electronics, aerospace, automotive, industrial automation, and general industries. Rockwell International, down-to-earth management and opportunities as limitless as space.
When we went to work up a sweat, nothing works like this tough, full-size Chevy pickup. It's got the muscle of a fuel-injected 350 V8. And it's available in every full-size Chevy. It's got the strength of girder main front suspension. Where? Oh, there. Plus, double-wall construction. So, when you need a tough-working partner, nothing works like a Chevy truck. Nothing. Yeah? Yeah. Right?
Tomorrow, the firepower of Washington's Jay Schrader, the horsepower of Dallas's Herschel Walker. It all starts with the NFL Today on CBS Sports.
CBS Sports presents college football, sponsored by Michelob Light, super premium taste and less filling beer. The people of Rockwell International, where science gets down to business. And by Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation.
I believe this was roughing the kicker on Arizona. Watch Franey after he catches his left leg. He gets rolled into. Remember, the roughing the kicker penalty is really there to protect kickers from injuries like that can occur. I believe that should have been a penalty.
Arizona may have gotten away from one. Here's Alfredo Velasco, who has been kicking off in this half, and it's a short kick. Taken by the Wildcats. Derek Hill out to the 30-yard line. UCLA did not get the touchdown, but at least they got something out of that defensive effort, and they did put together a pretty good drive then, Pat.
That's exactly right. For the first time today, the offense, led by Matt Stevens right there, had put something together, put 3 points at least on the board. Now, if the defense can do its job one more time, they give themselves a chance to at least tie the ball game.
And the Arizona offense hasn't been present in this half. They haven't done much at all, and looked somewhat lethargic. First down and 10. Chuck Knox, number 33.
Jim Waller made the stop there, Vernon. He played just sensationally last week, and again makes a stop there.
Knox, of course, the son of the Seahawk coach, whose dad will be landing at.
His old dad used to coach me. Chucky Knox used to come around practice. He was about, unfortunately, he was up to my shoulder.
He told me yesterday he remembered you when he was 4.
Oh my!
Second down and 7. Jenkins looks, pops it out. That's caught for the first down at the 45. Derek Hill again.
And that's what the Arizona offense needs, again, just to put together a couple of first downs against what has been a real good UCLA defense this second half. Give their defense a break as they rest. You know, the outcut really has been there against both teams. And Arizona's been a team that, as a passing team, has really been able to take advantage of throwing the ball to the outside this year. They did it against Colorado a couple of weeks ago. They did it earlier in the year against Houston.
Kip Lewis, number 9, comes in as an extra wide receiver for Arizona on first down and 10. 13-18 to go in the ball game. Jenkins caught and dropped at the 38-yard line. Brian Jones, number 42.
What set this sack up was terrific coverage back there by the UCLA secondary. Jenkins really has plenty of time to throw this ball, but then Brian Jenkins, who's a freshman, just comes bursting through with a great burst of speed to put the stop on Jenkins. But it was the coverage that forced the sack.
A second down and 16 now for Arizona. That is second quarterback sack.
I'll tell you what, UCLA's defensive backs really have done the job today. I'll tell you what.
Second and 16. See how they operate on this play. Jenkins lobs it. That'll be caught way short of the first down by Joe Pryor. This time it's Cornell Lake. Now John Dockery has made his way from the roof of the press box down to the Arizona sideline. Let's go down to John right now.
And Vern, you and Pat were talking about momentum. Well, Chuck Stobart, the offensive coordinator for Arizona, gathered his entire offense together and said, gentlemen, you know what? You're doing exactly what UCLA did against Arizona State last week. You're wearing down, you're fading, you can't have that. We must put together an offensive drive and keep our defense off the field. See if they're going to do it.
And if they're going to do it, John, they've got to do it on this play because they've got a 3rd and 13. 8-point difference, 12:25 to go in the game. Jenkins, incomplete. Intended for Kip Lewis, and Jenkins is on the ground, courtesy of Jim Waller.
Okay, this defensive line, who's been on the field for so long, is still coming after the quarterback. Waller, number 66, who played just very well in the first half, hits him, gives him a little push, let him know that he was there. But again, the defense has done their job. Turns it back over to the offense.
Ruben Rodriguez is on to punt. Darrell Henley, the deep man, 6th time that Rodriguez has kicked to Darrell Henley. 12:19 remaining in the game. That is his best kick of the day. Henley at the 11. And gets it only as far as the 13-yard line. He nailed that one. Arizona has the lead, but UCLA has the ball.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't be buttoned up and down to earth underneath it all?
Who says you can't have super premium taste and a less filling beer?
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
cheer.
It's the economy. Oh, Russell, what kind of motor oil are you using?
Motor oil is motor oil.
Motor oil definitely is not motor oil. A four-cylinder engine works harder and needs the extra protection of specially formulated Valvoline 4-guard.
Not much of a freight this year. It's the economy.
Oh, Russell.
Finding a phone in a car isn't that unusual anymore, except when it leaves the car, for greener pastures, the high seas, or a leisurely lunch. Radio Shack keeps you in constant communication with their affordable, transportable cellular telephone.
Hello? Well, yes, he's right here. It's for you.
Yes, I heard about the merger. Buy 100 shares.
The affordable, transportable cellular telephone, only at Radio Shack.
Jim Nantz back in New York. 3 scores from the top 10 that will surprise you. Oklahoma annihilating Texas as they start the third quarter. Fred Akers, as you've known, is in trouble at Texas. Arkansas, with 5 minutes to go, is trailing at home against Texas Tech. The unbeaten 8th-ranked Razorbacks in trouble. Likewise for USC, it's just now halftime at Pullman, 17-0. The Cougars lead the Trojans. Let's go back to Vernon Patz.
Okay, Jimmy, that is a shocker. Jim Walden's team, though, of course, tied Arizona State a couple of weeks back, 21-all. That will really complicate things. That little Bruins team has the ball. First down 10 at the 14-yard line, trailing by 8. Stevens to throw on first down. Deep right side, catch made at the 29-yard line. Willie Anderson grabs this one in front of Martin Rudolph.
This was their game plan coming in, throwing it to Flipper Anderson to the wide side of the field. He's at the bottom of your screen. Now, again, the outcuts is what they've been successful. Look at the cushion that he has on Randolph. Randolph is concerned about his deep speed, backs off, gives him plenty of room to catch the out route.
Willie Anderson, a junior from Paulsboro, New Jersey. First down 10 at the 30. 11:45 remaining. Bruins trail 18-10. Stevens, safety valve pass. Flag is down, wipe it out, bring it back. After Primus makes the catch.
Oh, that's a shame. They had a nice little play there going to Primus, and they've worked this combination a couple times, Vernon, when they've thrown the ball to an outside receiver, come right back and thrown it to a back. Primus had about 8 yards, but it's all for naught.
Okay, you've played this game most of your life. You explain to me how we can have 2 halves of football of such diversion.
You know, I think part of it is just that from UCLA standpoint, for example, is that Matt Stevens just seems to be looser. I think he realizes that, hey, we were down 18-0 at half. I'm just going to go out and have some fun. It's my last year. I may not be playing much football after my college career is over. So let's be a little bit more aggressive and have some fun. He seems much looser to me.
First and 20 from the 20. 18-10. And Stevens might be audibly. Draw play. To the 22. Primus is tackled by James DeBow, number 38.
Tell you what, if James DeBow does not make that tackle, this is a very big play. Nice ball handling by Matt Stevens. A good call on a long situation. It's a little draw. Remember, they've run up so much play action where Stevens has kept the ball, but he runs backside, big hole there, and James DeBow, the defensive back, made a good stop. Otherwise, he picks up another 15 yards.
Makes it a second down and 18. Clock shows 10:50 remaining in the game. Tunnell is the tight end who lines up now to the left side. Now again the play fake. Stevens, deep left side, single coverage. That's a foot race. If he doesn't drop it, it's a touchdown. Paco Craig, number 26, 78 yards, bobbled it, caught it, tucked it, and ran. And now the Bruins, with 10:29 remaining in the game, Pat, do they go for 1 or 2?
Well, they have to go for 2 here, and they've got two two-point plays. They've got a man in motion where they try to hit a flanker back who is in motion. And the second one, they just have a tailback pass, both flood type of routes, but they move the ball to the left hash mark, which you're allowed to do.
This is for the tie. 2 wide receivers wide right, 1 is wide left.
Gaston Green will be the primary receiver here.
He's the motion man. Knocked away. James DeBow batted it down. It was intended, as Pat said it would be, for Gaston Green.
We talked to Terry Donahue about their 2-point play, but first we're going to take a look at Paco Craig on the touchdown. And this is a great catch because the ball is hanging in the air a long time, and Craig is open for a long time. He's waiting, and then he sees Cecil trying to make the play. Now, Cecil probably should have just tried to make the tackle there, and that allowed Craig to go all the way for the score. But I tell you what, that's concentration. When you know you're open, the ball is almost like a punt, and you know a defensive man's coming after you. The ball actually really may have been tipped by Chuck Cecil. It is. That's terrific concentration by Craig. He shows some pretty good speed.
He's a junior from Riverside, California.
The muffler shop, the transmission shop, the tune-up shop. None of them has this total car specialist, Mr. Goodwrench. Whatever's happening with your GM car, he can fix. Because he has more than just a shop, it's like a laboratory. Equipped to diagnose any system in any GM car. And he's trained to understand the total automobile, not just parts. Mr. Goodwrench, the total car specialist. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
Beer in recyclable glass bottles keeps its cool for a long, long time. And pure glass protects the taste of your beer. Enjoy it cold and true, knowing that the good things that come in glass come just as their maker intended. Brought to you by the people who make glass containers naturally.
On the NFL today, they're both bruised and battered, but they better be ready. A look at the Redskins and the Cowboys, one of football's great rivalries, tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Terry Donahue's got to be feeling a little bit better. His team has come back down 18 at the half. They have scored 16 unanswered points. Velasco's kick bounces and is taken at the 12.
It was fumbled, but recovered by Arizona. Boy, this second half has really been a foul up for the Arizona team, particularly their offense. Their offense really has not done much.
And you wonder now, Pat, as Larry Smith gets ready to call this play, his Arizona team has not done traditionally what UCLA has accomplished. These seniors on the UCLA team have been in this circumstance many times. I don't know that Arizona's kids have been.
Well, there's no substitute for that experience. And these UCLA teams, a veteran team, a very much a senior team, have been there. They played in 4 straight January 1 bowls.
1st and 10, Wildcats. David Adams, the senior 5'6" tailback, spilled for a gain of 2.
Let's take another look at the 2-point play. Terry Donahue said that he was going to send Gaston Green in motion and try to get the ball to him on a rollout, but he was really well covered by James DeBow. There was really no crease at all, and Green was not open. It raises an interesting question about going for 2 points in that conversion with 10 minutes left in the ballgame. I still like the call myself, but he could have easily kicked the extra point, kicked the extra point and waited for a field goal later on.
Well, I was thinking of the time on the clock, but of course they're going to need the field goal. I agree with you. It's a good play. Hand off left side, especially the way the UCLA defense is suddenly playing.
And I think that certainly has something to do with their play selection. The defense has really risen to the occasion in the second half, and it's been adjustments by UCLA's defense. In the first half, they were controlled at the line of scrimmage. In the second half, this UCLA defensive front has been in the gaps. They find the gaps, and they've penetrated, and they've disrupted the rhythm of the Arizona offense.
Arizona's total offense in this half, 49 yards. UCLA has 126, but 78 came on that touchdown toss. Stevens to Craig. 3rd down, 6 from the 22. Jenkins gets rid of it. That's a 1st down. John Horton, number 86, the senior from Tucson. Tackled by Marcus Turner.
Boy, that's a nice play for the Arizona team. There's the UCLA basketball team. Reggie Miller right there in the middle. Boy, can he shoot.
The debate continues. Who's better, Reggie or his sister Cheryl? That's Reggie, who is an All-American at UCLA.
Big first down there for the Arizona offense on a 3rd and 6.
8:40 remaining in the game now. First down and 10, Arizona. Good protection for Jenkins, but his receivers are covered. He lobs it out, and the catch is made. Fumble! UCLA ball.
Murphy's Law for the Arizona offense today. Now, this is a great athletic play to catch the ball by Derek Hill, and a pretty good throw under duress by Jenkins. He goes up against good coverage against Chucky Miller, but all day long we have seen Hill kind of really hold the ball kind of loosely. That comes right out of his hands. It looked like he was trying to change hands, and I think Chucky Miller, number 37, made the recovery.
It was Chucky Miller, and the Bruins trailing by 2 get it back with 8:28 to go at the 44-yard line. Try to slip up with a give to the fullback, and it works for about 5 yards as Mel Farr plunges over the block of his center.
Turnovers have really been the difference here, particularly here in the second half. Arizona has had 3 of them. This one putting UCLA in very good field position. Remember, a field goal will put UCLA out on top.
If you just joined us, it was 18-0 Arizona at the half. It's now 18-16, and the Bruins have the ball, 2nd and 5. Tailback, door closed. Gaston Green doesn't get anything. And another in a seemingly endless array of 3rd down and longs for UCLA.
UCLA this 4th quarter has had some success on 3rd and 5 and 6 type of situations, actually throwing the ball to one of the backs out of the backfield. Primus has caught one, and Greenwood has caught one as well.
Farr caught the big one on 4th down.
Exactly right.
2 of 14 on 3rd down conversions. Fake the draw, fired out, caught. First down at the 32. Carl Durrell, senior from San Diego, California.
A tremendous cushion there by Martin Rudolph, number 27 on Durrell. There's plenty of room there, and when it's 3rd and 5, you cannot give this much cushion to a receiver because this is an easy catch. You don't even see Rudolph coming into the picture till very, very late, actually.
7:15 to go in the ball game. UCLA with a fresh set of downs at the Arizona 32. Stevens hollers out to his right. They'll hand it off and try to find room at right tackle. Gaston Green runs into Byron Evans after a gain of a couple.
But you know, in this drive, UCLA at least has gotten something out of the rushing game on 1st down. In the first half, they got absolutely nothing. Here, this is the 2nd time on 1st down they've run the ball. This time they picked up about 3 yards. The last 1st down, they picked up 4 yards rushing the ball.
Gaston Green with 15 yards on 13 carries to just underscore what you said. 2nd down and 6, 6:35 to go in the ball game. 18-16. Gaston Green goes left, cuts it back right, and again we've got a 3rd down play. Dana Wells made the tackle. We want to welcome you, those of you who've been watching Michigan and Michigan State. That scored 27-6 in the 4th quarter. Our score at halftime was Arizona 18, UCLA zip. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Pat Hayden and John Dockery. We have 6:04 remaining, and after the 3rd Arizona turnover of this half, UCLA has the ball with a 3rd and 6 from the 28, trailing by 2, and Matt Stevens calls timeout. And it gives us a chance to catch our breath and bring those of you around the rest of the country up to date. Let's go back and recap how this game has evolved. Costin of Arizona opened with a field goal to make it 3-0. Chuck Cecil of the Wildcats blocked the kick, recovered in the end zone for a touchdown, 10-0. After another blocked kick, Stan Mataele tackled Gaston Green for a safety to make it 12-0 Arizona. Then back-to-back Costin field goals from 36 and from 35 yards out made it 18-0 at the half. And all of a sudden, Vesuvius erupted here in Southern California. Darrell Henley picked off a fumble after James Washington had intercepted a pass, returned it 54 yards for a touchdown, 18-7. David Franey kicked a 29-yard field goal to make it 18-10. And then Matt Stevens found Paco Craig open down the left sideline, 78 yards on the pass from Matt Stevens to make it 18-16. That was with 10 minutes and some seconds remaining. Stevens went to Gaston Green on the try for the tie, 2 points. It was knocked down by James DeBow. Arizona got the ball on the kickoff, but fumbled when Derek Hill was hit. Chucky Miller recovered, and the Bruins now have the ball, and that brings you up to date. 3rd and 6 from the 28. And they're on the fringe of field goal range. They run it. They run it well. That's Gaston Green. 1st and goal, UCLA.
UCLA has not had a big play out of their running attack in 2 weeks. Gaston Green, who's been injured most of the year, is a man who can provide that tremendous speed from Gaston Green. He picked his way here. This was supposed to go over right tackle, but he's picked his way cut back, which is usually ineffective against Arizona's defense, but then just kind of showed some determination and broke some tackles. But the amazing thing to me here, Vern, is this offensive running attack has not had a big play all year until Gaston Green really needed it.
What a great call on 3rd and long. 1st down and goal, UCLA. From the 10. 2-step drop, lob pass, timing play. Incomplete. James DeBow with terrific coverage. Intended for Willie Anderson.
This is an awfully tough throw and catch to make, I think. Flipper Anderson right there in the middle of your screen, number 83. He's against James DeBow. He's getting pushed there out of bounds. Not pushed, but he's fading out of bounds. Now, if he catches the ball and gets 1 foot in, it's a completion. But if a defensive back pushes him out, that still should be a completion. But I think, really, he would not have come down inbounds there.
2nd down and 10. 18-16. Pitch out, right side. Touchdown, Bruins! Gaston Green with a great run. And this incredible comeback continues. UCLA with a 4-point lead.
They're going for 2-point play here again, Vern. Now we saw the first one where they had to try to get Gaston Green. On this other 2-point play, what they're going to try to do, at least what they told us, is try to get a back out of the backfield. Now the percentage is really only 35% in the history of 2-point plays last year.
Play fake, Matt Stevens. Man is open. Good. Marcus Greenwood.
Well, Terry Downey, you had 2 2-point plays designed for this week. He's had an opportunity to use them both. We're going to take a first look at the touchdown by Gaston Green, who's really been stopped all day long by a very good Arizona defense. His coach told me he thought Gaston was going to have a big day today, bothered by injuries. Tremendous speed, but watch the cut here. And then he just runs right through the tackles. He has the kind of speed and power where he can run right through people, and that's just what he did there to get in the end zone. And now the 2-point play, where again, Marcus Greenwood, number 45, off the play-action fake, out of the backfield. Stevens rolling right. He was wide open early, and he really had to wait for that ball. It was a good concentration by Greenwood.
24 unanswered points by UCLA in this half.
Listen to the heartbeat of America. Listen to the heartbeat of America.
When you know what you want, Put yourself in today's Chevy Cavalier and listen to your heartbeat.
The heartbeat of America. Chevrolet. That's today's Chevrolet.
Why is my antacid Tums? Tums is effective. It neutralizes 1/3 more stomach acid than the other leading brand. And Tums is rich in calcium. To me, that's extra good news.
Hey, where did you learn about computers?
In the Army.
You were in the Army too?
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund, and you can earn over $25,000 for college.
What you do in the Army?
Airborne.
You used to jump out of airplanes?
Sunday, a CBS dramatic special.
No more. I'll call the police this time. I swear I will.
Tuesday Wells, Geraldine Fitzgerald, Circle of Violence, a family drama.
Jim Nantz back in New York. The upset of the day at Arkansas. Texas Tech 17-7 as the Razorbacks lose for the first time. That Tech defense had allowed 151 points in their last 3 losses. Today they hold the Razorbacks to only 1 touchdown. Let's go back out to Vernon Patch.
Okay, Jim Nantz, thank you. 5:36 remaining. Larry Smith, a concerned coach. Ebullient at halftime when his team was up 18-0. And here's the squib kick that goes out of bounds. That'll draw
a late
retreat. Yeah, it took him a while.
I couldn't get it out of his back pocket.
Where was the handkerchief?
For those people who joined us a little bit late, the Arizona special teams have just been phenomenal today and all day, although the difference in the second half has been momentum. It's all been in UCLA's favor.
Well, it started with those of you who were not with us. This UCLA defensive team played very, very well in the third quarter. But there's the illegal procedure call. The UCLA offense couldn't capitalize. And then finally, after Darrell Henley ran the fumble in after an interception by James Washington to make it 18-7, Matt Stevens, the senior quarterback, ignited the UCLA offense. Their defensive team continued to hold and force turnovers, and boom, boom, boom.
Remember, too, UCLA, the defending Pac-10 champions, played in 4 straight January 1 bowls, a senior team. Many of these players have been in this type of game before. They've used the 5th game of the season really as the springboard as the second half of their season to really play unbelievable football over the last number of years in the second half of the year. So I guess it's not too surprising UCLA's comeback.
Seems like a month ago we were talking about the possibility of UCLA being shut out in this game. They have the nation's longest scoring streak now at 172 games. We'll kick it off again. 24-18 with 5:36 to go. Little misjudgment. Art Greathouse has it though and is within an ankle tackle of a huge gain. Let's go down to John Dockery for an update. John?
Thank you, Vern. After that last conversion, Matt Stevens came off the field. He was holding his hand. He took a shot in the chin. He told the doctors to get away from him. He was going to finish this game.
And finish it well. First down and 10, Arizona. In this half, the Wildcats of Arizona have been held to 46 yards. UCLA, 178, and there's the scoring. All Arizona first half, all UCLA in the second. First and 10, Wildcats. Alfred Jenkins is the quarterback. Still has time, and a man is wide open. And the catch is made at the 44.
And
John Horton, the senior.
And that's a terrific catch by Horton because that ball took so long to get there. He took a look at the defense. You're going to see him look back. Alfred Jenkins gets to the outside, which he has done pretty well today. This ball's in the air an awful long time. Horton, you're going to see him look back to find out where the defensive man is, and then he's going to keep his 1 foot in as he stretches out to catch the ball. And that's terrific concentration by Horton. That's a big play.
First down at the 44, 5:23 to go in the game. Split backs this time, 2 wide receivers right and 1 left. Not much of a rush provided by the Bruins, and a diving try at the 30 is incomplete. Derek Hill. Well, this has been an extraordinary ball game. In the first half, it was all Arizona. Special teams, offense, defense. Larry Smith's team with an 18-0 lead. UCLA, though, Pat, traditionally has used this week in the season to start their surge, and Terry Donahue may get Orator of the Year for whatever he said at halftime.
Well, they did make some defensive adjustments that we talked about in the defensive line. They're getting a lot more people in gaps and creating penetration, so Arizona has had no rhythm offensively.
2nd and 10. Jenkins, left side, again, incomplete. Intended for John Horton again.
Actually, that was intended to Vince Lottie, the tight end. That's the first time we've really seen Arizona try to get the ball to the tight end, Lottie. And he was open, just overthrown there a bit by Alfred Jenkins. He has thrown a couple of balls over receivers' heads.
Jenkins for the day now is 10 out of 23 for 121 yards. 3rd and 10, 5:12 to go. And this crowd of 51,000 is roaring here in the Rose Bowl. Jenkins pursued. He's most dangerous when he runs. And that could be enough for the first down. We'll see where the spot is.
I think they marked it short. Again, the added dimension of Jenkins. He's a big guy, 6'4", 218 pounds, and he's been feeling lousy all week like we talked about. Had the flu, didn't practice a whole lot. But very, very close to the first down.
It's short. 4th down.
Jenkins has gotten the ball downfield a number of times today to his wide receivers, has not used the tight end much, but this is the second time we have seen Jenkins be able to avoid a rush and get up the field and pick up a big gain for his offensive unit. Now it's 4th down.
4th and a foot. The tailback is 5'6", 170-pound David Adams. Jenkins is 6'4" and towers over him. They give it to the fullback up over the top. Chris McLemore, number 20.
And he's got it, the spot but the official gave him the first down.
There's the indication. McLemore is senior from Las Vegas.
You know, I'm not a big fullback dive play. I think it's better when you have a lead blocker when you're trying to go over the top here, but they quickly give the ball to the fullback, and the right guard, Frank Ariola, really was the one who had the surge that allowed McLemore to pick up the first down.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. 24-18, under 4 minutes remaining. UCLA with a remarkable comeback has the lead. Jenkins looks deep, lob short. David Adams at 5'6", 167, out of bounds with another Arizona first down inside the 20.
I want to tell you, that was a great impromptu play by David Adams because he was not supposed to be there. He was supposed to be out in the right flat. You're going to see him after the play-action fake. Now, he's supposed to go in the right flat, but he sees all the UCLA linebackers in, so he decides he's going to go the other way. And Jenkins is tall enough to see him, cuts back in the soft spot of the defense, and picks up a first down. That's a great play by Adams.
Amazing, Pat. This is the first life the Wildcat offense has showed in this half. They've got a 1st and 10 now, trailing by 6 with 3:45 to go. Adams in motion. And so is the wide receiver, John Horton. And that'll cost Arizona 5.
Think he's a little anxious there. John Horton, number 86 in the slot there.
You think he was the intended receiver?
That's usually a key.
That's right.
That's a dead giveaway.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure on the offense.
1st and 15.
Again, they need the touchdown to win the ball game. Time very much a factor now with 3:45, and obviously the extra point too.
1st down, 15. Joe Pryor back in at fullback for Arizona. 24-18, UCLA leads it. Jenkins slips, lets it go. Caught by the tight end, Vince Lottie. That's the 2nd time they've gotten to him. And the 1st time he's made the grab.
But the 2nd time he has been wide open. And it was set up, Lottie was set up there because they've been throwing so much to their outside receivers and to the halfback, David Adams, out of the backfield there.
McLemore will run the play in. Alfred Jenkins, for those of you who have not been with us for the duration of the game, has had a virus most of the week and lost 11 pounds. And it was questionable last night if he would play today. 2nd down, 8 from the 16. 24-18. Derek Hill, number 82, in motion. They flood the right side. Jenkins pulls up with the counter pass and throws it away.
Oh, but he had him wide open. He had him wide open. He had a drill. If he just leads him along the baseline back there, that's an easy touchdown. It's a difficult throw, though. He's rolling to his right and has to throw back. But John Horton's going to come back toward the end line, the end zone line, and he's running straight down, and if he leads them, that's 6 points.
Elsewhere around the country, Miami rolling over West Virginia as expected. Alabama wins again. Michigan has defeated Michigan State 27-6. Penn State came from behind to win its game. And Oklahoma rolling over Texas. 3rd down and 8 from the 16-yard line. Option play. Halfback pass. David Adams. Man is wide open. Touchdown. Arizona Wildcats. Derek Hill. Just incredible. And Gary Costin, the freshman from Santa Ana, California, tries to give Arizona the lead again. Done.
This is a sensational call by Larry Smith and the offensive staff of Arizona. One of the things UCLA has done this second half has been really aggressive on defense, gotten a lot of people on the ball. One way to take some of the aggressiveness away is come up with some sort of trick play like this. It looks like the option, which they had run successfully in the first half, and Derek Hill, who had lined up as a wide receiver, just kind of slips behind Craig Rutledge, the strong safety, for the easy touchdown. Well, that's a terrific call, really. Another look at David Adams. Again, the top of your screen is number 82, Derek Hill. He comes down like he's going to pretend like he's blocking on the safety, and then slips behind Rutledge. He's open by 10 yards. Adams had one of those last year as well.
That's a senior to a sophomore, 5'6" to 6'3". Derek Hill with a touchdown, Costin's extra point, and Arizona goes 73 yards in 9 plays, almost doubling their previous offensive output of this half.
It was all defense pretty much the first half, and the offense has come to life here in the fourth quarter.
David Adams got the touchdown toss, first in his career. 25-24, 3:27 to go. And Jeff Valder, senior walk-on, will kick off for the Wildcats. Darrell Henley, number 2. A double team drives him back at the 23-yard line, led by Chris Singleton, number 87.
Watch the hit that Henley is going to take, and you can see him getting up kind of groggy. Arizona special teams, for those of you again joining us late, have been notorious during Larry Smith's 7 years. Look at that. He gets knocked back about 3 or 4 yards. Actually, a very dangerous type of play for Henley.
And the man who delivered the blow, Singleton, was injured and is down. He's one of 2 twins who play for this Arizona team. This is Chris Singleton. His twin brother Kevin is also an outside linebacker out of Parsippany, New Jersey.
Well, I'll tell you what, you hate to see when the guys get their heads in a situation like that and they get it jammed up.
Oh, he's going to...
I'm glad to see him get up.
And quickly.
Boy. Man.
Well, just to set the stage for this final 3:22, and Singleton waves to the Arizona contingent in the end zone, of whom there are large numbers. They travel well, Pat. And here come the Bruins of UCLA, trailing again, but this time just by 1. They were down by 18 at the half. Matt Stevens, Boomer Gibson flushes him out of the pocket.
Everybody's calling there for an intentional grounding, but Stevens made it a legitimate attempt to get the ball to Carl Durrell, number 8. Where UCLA has been successful offensively in the second half is getting Stevens rolling out to the wide side of the field. Now there's a late flag there. That's an awfully late flag.
Well, I think the reason for the late flag is that the referee was knocked down by the tackle.
But he got up a little bit earlier than that. Now that's the latest flag I have ever seen thrown, I guarantee you. And I thought this was a legitimate attempt by Matt Stevens to get the ball to Durrell.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Loss of down, second down.
That's loss of down, of course.
Here's the replay. Now, watch the referee who gets knocked down, so that's why the flag was so late. What you don't see there is Carl Doral, who was down maybe 5 yards past where the ball hit.
It's a second down and 19 from the 5. From the end zone, Stevens release valve to Gaston Green, and they get out from the shadows after the 16-yard line. Byron Evans makes the tackle. We come to you live this afternoon from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Pat Hayden and John Dockery. Arizona leads 25-24. They had a halftime edge of 18-0. The Bruins, defending Rose Bowl champions, scored 24 unanswered points, but then the Wildcats arose with a growl and went 73 yards in 9 plays. The go-ahead toss, David Adams, Derek Hill.
3rd and 20. They need both these downs. They can get 10 on each one, perhaps.
Stevens has a man open. To the 39, first down, Paco Craig, who earlier caught a 78-yard touchdown catch.
I want to tell you that Matt Stevens has received his share of criticism this year. Some of it deservedly, but he has really hung in here today and really risen to the occasion when he's had to. Under duress, he steps up into the pocket, throws this ball on the move. Nice touch. And Paco Craig, for the second time today, wide open, coming across the middle. That's a very big play, obviously, on 3rd and 20.
We're under 3 minutes. A new series of downs for UCLA, and they trail by 1. A field goal would win it for them. Gaston Green to the 40. John Dockery has moved over to the Arizona Wildcats sideline. Let's go down to him for this report.
Thank you, Vern. A very important negative development for Arizona as they tried to hold UCLA is the fact that this man, Danny Lockett, perhaps their best defensive player, just told me he's through for the day. His legs are weak. He's feeling miserable. He's dehydrated and won't be back. Vern?
That's a big loss. Second down and 8 from the 40. Stevens wants a screen pass. Sets it up left side. He doesn't have much supplemental help, and the ball carrier's down at the 44.
Did you see Jim Birmingham, the nose guard, hustle over there, number 59? This guy is playing nose guard, and this is the kind of defense Arizona has. They just get a lot of people, no matter where the ball is thrown, a lot of people around the ball, including defensive linemen. Ran all the way across the field.
Another third down now for UCLA. They are 4 of 16 on third down conversions. Need is 4. Stevens gets a good block. Has a man open. Fires it. Caught at the 45. Carl Durrell came back to meet the ball.
Now UCLA has 2 timeouts, though. Stop the clock here as they move the chains. But UCLA has 2 timeouts remaining. And Carl Durrell did a nice thing. He saw that Matt Stevens was in trouble. Many receivers will not work their way back to the quarterback. Marcus Greenwood, number 45, made the first big block. And then Durrell, you're going to see him work his way back and then go down to make sure the catch for the first down.
1:24 to go in the game and the clock running. They try the running game again. Byron Evans knocks Gaston Green down, and the crowd doesn't like the call on first down.
Okay, they have 2 timeouts remaining. David Franey, their kicker, his long this year is 41 yards.
And they're a long way from that.
Oh, you're right. They've had success rolling him out to the wide side of the field and dropping the ball off either to a wide receiver on the out route, or a back out of the backfield.
Second down and 9. Good block again. Stevens drills it. Looked like they were going to think about the hook and ladder play. They're now at the 32. Willie Anderson made the catch, and timeout is called.
Going to see some good arm strength here by Matt Stevens because his feet weren't really set. Watch his feet. This one's all arm, and he's got a strong arm as he whips his body around after the roll, little half roll to his left. He's going to whip around and throws that one all arm. And Willie Anderson just found a little dead spot there in the defense for another first down. That's good offense.
Terry Donahue is going to talk it over, and we'll take a timeout.
It has something to cool your face.
Thanks. I needed that.
Something to soothe your face.
Thanks. I needed that.
Something to smooth your face.
Thanks. I needed that.
Something to tone, to tighten, to brace your face and help get you going.
Thanks. I needed that.
You're not finished shaving till you've used Skin Bracer Aftershave after every shave. It has what your face needs. Skin Bracer.
Today's most popular software programs come to life in the Tandy 1000 computer. A computer with 50% faster clock speed than the IBM PC. Tandy engineered desk-made software, executed through the microprocessor command center, makes the Tandy 1000 incredibly easy to use. See the Tandy 1000 family of value-priced personal computers only at Radio Shack.
Number 49 is Danny Luckett. You just heard John Dockery say he was through for the day. Dehydration. His coaches sent him back in the game.
They need his pass rush. He led the Pac-10 in sacks a year ago, has 5 this year. They need him on the outside rush.
David Franey has missed this year from 46. His longest field goal is 41. 1st and 10 from the 32. Pitch out. Gaston Green goes left, breaks the tackle. Touchdown! For the junior out of Los Angeles.
And UCLA will go for 2 points here.
They currently have a 5-point lead at 30-25 in this extraordinary ball game.
Terry Donnie only gave me 2 of his 2-point plays. He didn't think he was going to have to do it 3 times.
This one may be draw it up in the grass.
Yeah.
41 seconds remaining. Stevens, it's good. Flipper Anderson in front of Martin Rudolph, and the UCLA Bruins lead by 7. This ball club was at the 5-yard line after the intentional grounding call.
You know, Homer Smith told his offensive players today, whoever touches the ball is going to have to come up with the big plays. And this has been Gaston Green's 4th quarter. Have not heard much from him all game until the 4th quarter. But the champions rise to the occasion. And here's another look at Green, who's made 2 other large runs, breaking through tackles. And this has been an Arizona team ordinarily, which is a very good tackling team. Chuck Cecil missed a tackle there. And what a day, what a 4th quarter it's been for Gaston Green. Another look at the sprint to the goal line. You know, Terry Donnie has been asked why they haven't been successful thus far this year, and largely it's because this man Green has been hurt, has had bunions on his right foot and not had full speed. But today he's really come through here in the 4th quarter. 3 big runs.
There was not an incomplete pass after the intentional grounding. And 41 seconds remain. Velasco will kick off for UCLA. Ball bounces at the 10. Greathouse, Art Greathouse, the freshman running back, gets only as far as the 18-yard line. (32-25), and who's to say Arizona can't come back?
Well, they have 2 timeouts left here. They've got a quarterback who's got a very strong arm, although he has not completed too many long balls downfield yet today. But they've got 2 great wide receivers in Derek Hill and John Horton, who have the capability of getting deep on you quickly.
37 seconds remaining. Alfred Jenkins. Incomplete.
That's not going to do it. They're going to have to get the ball either in Derek Hill's hands or John Horton's hands for Arizona to have a chance. They need a touchdown.
That'll bring up a second down with 32 seconds to go. And Arizona has 2 timeouts left. 18-0 Arizona lead at halftime. 24-18. UCLA 25-24. Arizona. And here's Jenkins on the run. Slides with the first down at the 29-yard line.
He's going to try to make his way out of bounds, though.
Well, they will stop the clock for the moment while they move the chains. Timeout has been called. Jenkins is going to talk it over with Larry Smith. We're going to catch our breath.
Right now, you can get a bundle of bucks from Certainty. For every bundle of Certainty fiberglass building insulation you buy, you get $1 back, up to $30. Imagine making money for insulating your home against winter and helping you save money on your fuel bills. That's the Certainty Buck-a-Bundle rebate, with $1 back for every bundle of insulation you buy. So bring on the bucks! Woo! Woo. The Certainty Buck-a-Bundle rebate.
23 seconds to go in the ball game. UCLA in this extraordinary ball game has come back again. They lead by 7. Arizona's Wildcats, trying to remain undefeated for the year and win their second conference game, now face a first down and 10 with 23 seconds to go. Coming up tomorrow in the NFL. NFL today begins at 12:30 Eastern time, and then regional coverage. Washington versus Dallas, the Rams, Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, or Detroit versus Green Bay. Check your local listing for one of these games in your area. Philly and New York, Minnesota, San Francisco, New Orleans, Indianapolis, or St. Louis at Tampa Bay. I don't think any of those can top this. First and 10, 23 seconds to go. Jenkins, Hill, caught at the 35-yard line and timeout while they move the chain.
Jenkins should get his team on the ball right now and just throw a ball out of bounds. Throw a ball out of bounds. He's got 1 timeout, but he can just get the ball out of bounds and still save that timeout.
If they do that, that's precisely the point, Pat. As soon as they whistle time in, throw it and save a timeout. 35 yards away from the end zone, 15 seconds to go. Now here's Jenkins and the clock running. And they've got a play in mind. They're flooding the left side. It's 3-on-3 in the end zone. Kept and incomplete.
Not a bad call there, though. Not a bad call with 15 seconds. They at least got the ball into the end zone with an opportunity to score a touchdown. We've seen so many teams do this over the years. Actually, the Atlanta Falcons won 2 ball games a few years ago where they put 3 wide receivers down and scored on tip balls. Now you see the guy in the middle, he is just trailing. He wants the front 2 guys to go up and tip the ball, and the guy in the back is going to try to make the play. UCLA defense did the best thing they could, was try to knock the ball back away from the field of play.
Arizona has used its final timeout. Alfred Jenkins comes over to talk about it with Chuck Stobart, the offensive coordinator, and we'll be back.
Your life is changing, and State Farm is there.
I'm State Farm agent Jim McConnell. Terry Saylor's life insurance started out pretty simple. Then there were 3 children, 2 new mortgages, a big job promotion for Terry, and for Mrs. Saylor, a life plan of her own. 7 updates in just 6 years. State Farm agents are there to start you out with life insurance that works for you.
And like a good neighbor,
And we're there to keep it working for you.
State Farm is there.
Arizona huddling. They have time, I think, Pat, for one more play since they must get in the end zone.
And as you probably see a similar situation, 3 wide receivers on the same side of the field, perhaps another wide receiver to the other side. Just throw the ball. The ball must be in the end zone, though, because in college football now, it's a new rule a couple of years ago. If there's pass interference, it does not just come out to the 1-yard line. It's still marked off from the line of scrimmage. So the ball must be thrown into the end zone to get the touchdown.
And in the back of your mind, keep this thought. Larry Smith told us last night, if he has a chance to go for the win or the tie, he will go for the tie.
He will kick the extra point because of the conference race the way it stands right now. First time we've seen shotgun formation.
Alfred Jenkins, 6 yards back. Low snap, but Jenkins has it. A three-man rush and not much of one. Now the freelance begins. And Jenkins off balance, throws it into the end zone where it is incomplete. And this unbelievable ball game has come to an end. Our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Stan Montiele of Arizona and Gaston Green of UCLA. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. John Dockery is down on the field with Terry Donahue. John?
Thank you, Vern. You said you weren't sure about the character of your team. What did you find out today?
Well, we're really pleased with the way our team responded in the second half. Obviously, it was a situation where we could have cashed it in the first half because everything went Arizona's way and we played very poorly, but I'm really pleased and proud of my players. Backs against the wall, you did it, changes the whole picture in the Pac-10. Well, I think the win here certainly puts the conference in an upside-down situation, and it really it gives us a little hope, and that's all you want in life. A slow starter, a fast finisher. Terry Donahue, now back to you, Vern.
All right, John, thank you very much. UCLA wins it 32-25 after trailing 18-0 at halftime. Matt Stevens, the senior quarterback, and Gaston Green leading the comeback in the second half offensively as Stevens found the spark and Gaston Green found the end zone. Our final score, UCLA 32, Arizona 25. Now let's go back to our New York studios and Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, Vern. What a performance out there. And that was a game UCLA had to have to keep any hope at all alive in the Pac-10. Now, the upsets of the day in college football. Texas Tech beat Arkansas, the Razorbacks' first loss of the year, and it was suffered at home. Washington State and USC. Now, this is in the third quarter. The Cougars have just kicked the field goal to up their lead now to 20 points. 27-7, USC ranked number 9 in the country. We'll have more scores when the College Football Report continues after this message and a word from your local stations.
This is CBS.
You ever notice how ordinary unleaded gasolines can make even your new car feel like an old clunker? All that knocking and pinging can wither your youthful enthusiasm quickly. But there is a gasoline that can help. 76 unleaded, the highest octane unleaded regular you can buy.
Fill her up, Sonny.
It's 2 octanes higher than most other regulars to help prevent cars from aging prematurely.
The spirit of 76.
An official sponsor of the Liberty Centennial.
Open the shuttle doors, Al.
Do you have the software I requested, Steve?
Come on, where am I supposed to find all that?
Software, etc.
Where?
At P. Dalton, software, etc., Steve.
Al, open the shuttle doors.
Steve, this conversation can serve no useful purpose. Goodbye.
Where are you going, Al? You can't leave me here. Al, do you read me?
If you want to keep your computer happy in this universe, there's just one place to go.
Making It in a Man's World, Monday at 7:30.
Jim Nance back in New York. Now in baseball this afternoon, the Mets with a dramatic win against the Astros. Len Dykstra, he hit only 8 home runs during the regular season. A 2-run homer with 1 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 9th, and the Mets now take a 2-1 lead in that National League Championship Series. Back to college football, Miami.